6 chicken fingers. 1 left.
My husband still makes me.
Hello there, Hybrid Thoughts Reloaded. How you doing? All right, hold on a second here. I got to open up the live stream. Yeah, give me a sec here. I got to go into my live panel. Get more accurate feedback from there in regards to video and sound quality. There we go. Get more accurate feedback from there in regards to video and sound quality. There we go. With the sound, or it's just a little low, maybe. Feedback from there in regards to video. Uh-oh. Oh. We hear you. Yeah, I know you hear me, but do you hear me well enough? Yeah. The sound's a bit low. I made some changes because I thought it was a little loud before. So let me open up my mixer so I can turn up the sound. I know you guys are going to complain heavily if I don't. That's my compressor. All right, my limiter is set at 8. Noise reduction at 6. Okay, let me turn the limiter up. Well, let me open up limiter. I think the problem is the boost. Okay. The attack I lowered some. Let me raise that to 0.7 and the boost to 10. And that should be it. And the limiter's at 10. Did that help? Let's check. Go and sound quality. Did that help? I think it helped. Okay, so I raised it a little bit. That should have helped. Okay, so I raised it a little bit. That should have. Well, I don't know what affects what here. Let me turn up. All right, let me turn down noise reduction. Oh wait, let me turn it up. Okay. Did that help any? So I just raised noise reduction a bit. Oh, compressor's at -4. Ooh, is that might be too low? Okay, I think I might have found the problem. The compressor might be too low. I'm not sure. Did that help any? Let me know if this is a little better. I'm not sure. Did that help any? Let me know if this is a little... It sounds okay now. No change at all. Well, I don't know what you want from me, man. I don't know what the problem is. All right, let me raise the compressor here to 0. Okay. All right, did that help any? So I just raised the compressor by 4 dB. Let me see if there's anything in the compressor settings I can change. Compression ratio 4:1, pre-gain 0 dB, compression threshold at 0. Attack is at 200 milliseconds, release 1,000. Post gain is at -6. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. I don't... All right, I sound far away. Well, I don't know what setting I need to change here to improve it. Boost? Let me boost it. Okay, I'll use the... That's probably what I need. Let me check. Boost is at 10 dB. I'll increase it to 12. Okay, boost is at 12 dB now. Does that help any? So that boosts the, well, obviously, you know what it boosts. But please don't tell me what to check. All the settings are controlled through my mixer program, which is actually pretty thorough. Oh, no, the input gain is down to 20. What happened? Oh, that explains that. Wait a second. Hello, everybody. Yeah, something happened to my input gain. It was down at 20. What the hell? Oh, I have no idea what happened. They should hear me now. Oh, I have no idea what happened. So I don't know what happened, but for some reason my microphone's input gain was at 20. I must have accidentally clicked on it, but what the hell? That's nuts. Wow. Okay. I don't know what happened, guys. Sorry about that. I was like, what's going on here? I know the settings should be working. All right, now I need to change everything back. Yeah, it's too loud now. Now it's too loud. It's like, what the hell? Now I got to change everything back. This pisses me off. All right, 10 dB is too high for boost. I'm going to lower that to like 6 or 5. Okay. Limiter is at 5. Noise reduction 8. Seems a little high. Okay, compressor at 0. Let's knock that down to -4. And it should be a little better. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta move the mic far away now. It's yeah, it's doing very well now. I just turned it up to 75. It was at 20 for some unknown reason. I have no idea. No idea. I'm totally clueless as to what happened. I have no idea. No idea. I'm totally clueless. All right, that's much better. Yeah. Okay, we're good to go. Anybody have any complaints now? I'm sure somebody will complain about something, but hopefully it won't be the sound. Wow, I was wondering what the hell's going on, because I know the settings didn't change. Except for like a couple decibels. I was just trying to dial it in. But something happened with the gain input. All right, let's get to it. So hello all and welcome. It is I, the realist philosopher. And this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So what's happening? What's shaking? What's going on, people? Oh boy, I'll tell you what, man. Been some weekend. I got a lot of rest. I was able to veg out and do absolutely nothing, which was nice. Didn't have to work on my car at all. I didn't have anything to do. It was great. Well, no, I spent a lot of the weekend working on editing content from, and clipping, and most of the Saturday was spent on that. I did not do a show. I did not schedule a show, though. I did not advertise beforehand. I just didn't feel like it. I don't know. Guess I'm getting a little burned out. But anyway, I'm glad some of you are here. Apologize for that. The show's much more lively when I actually schedule it. I guess people actually know it's happening. Yeah. So, lots been going. Not much has been going on, actually. Styx is still not making videos. He hasn't made a video in 9 days. It looks like Styx has quit YouTube. He's gone. I guess he's done. I don't know, man. It's not his computer. If Styx's computer were broken down, I think we would know about it, right? He would tell us, because he has in the past. He's just given up making content. I don't get this. A bunch of people are blaming me. I got more than one comment in my comment section. You killed the goose. Leave him alone. We want him to keep posting videos so we can continue to dunk on him. Well, then how do you know it's not your fault? Wait, I can't dunk on him, but you can dunk on him? I guess it was somebody from the Kiwi Farms. Multiple people from there. Kiwi Farms is a weird place. It seems like there's a bunch of threads there, and each thread has specific people that seem to only post in that thread. It's kind of like their own little community. But if the person that they're A-logging isn't posting videos on a regular basis, they have nothing to talk about. So I guess these people with no life are upset with me because I've taken away their only source of entertainment or social interaction. I don't know. You don't need Styx for that. But they all kind of seem to bond by making fun of Styx. So they're upset at me that there's no new content to make fun of. I don't know how it's my fault. That could just as easily be you folks. I mean, the dude has his own Kiwi Farms account. He's posted there before. It could just as easily be him following his own thread. Although I kind of doubt it. I don't know. I can't be the only one A-logging, dunking on this guy. Don't blame me. Stop blaming me for Sticks not posting no more. I'm a nobody anyway. After all that drama and controversy the last week, I get no views now. Totally destroyed my channel. Thanks a lot for that. I was stupid to actually respond and participate in it, though. That was my mistake. But, you know, we'll recover. It'll just take a couple months, right? Yeah, don't blame me. I'm like a little insect. I got like 1,500 real-world subs. How the heck is Sticks giving up posting on YouTube because of me? I don't think it's me. All he did was said various people dunking on him. He didn't use the word dunking. That's my word. But how do you know that's me? Could be anybody. Lots of people talking about the pirate boy and his stupid owl. Not just me. Oh, I love it. Well, you're the one posting the most. So what? So what? That's not evidence. There's no correlation there. You don't. Okay, you don't know it's me. But anyway, people with no lives. Don't blame me. Go post in the quarterings thread, the Jeremy Hamley thread on Kiwi Farms. Go do that. Okay, that thread is still lively because Jer still posts. I guess Jer has no choice though. Dude's, you know, virtually bankrupt. I think Jeremy is moving. Yeah, I think he's selling his swamp and gonna move into a 1-bedroom or something in town. I don't know what town he's in, but yeah, it's Wisconsin, so it's almost certainly Hickville. So yeah. The only good thing is that I don't think rentals in Wisconsin are too expensive. So what's he gonna spend? He has to save a lot of money. They go from 10K a month to 1K a month. Yeah. He needs to save money, man. That dude is hurting for cash, man. I appreciate everybody who's here, even though I didn't do any announcement of the show, so we're not going to get a lot of viewers. That's my fault. Matty Ice, that helped on my end a little bit. Well, that's good. So we're not going to get a lot of... Oh, the sound should be fine now. Phased by Moon says no sound. Well, you should have sound now, buddy. Chrissie doesn't reply. Hybrid Thoughts, it's good now. Damn, what's up, brother? Hey, Adam, how you doing? Do you think you'd have more luck with the algorithm if you migrate to a new channel? Maybe. I don't know. But how would people find me? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, doesn't YouTube have voice recognition? And email recognition? I'm not sure. Yeah, but people are lazy. They don't follow you. I mean, if I moved to a new channel, who would follow me? No offense, but you guys wouldn't follow me. A lot of you are lazy. You wouldn't follow me to a new channel. No offense, but, you know. No, seriously, though. I don't know. I really don't know. I thought about collaborations again, but not with bigger YouTubers, but with smaller ones or ones of similar size. So, like, maybe I should collab with other small creators or something like that. I mean, because the fix is in as far as larger creators. I think some of them are just intimidated. They're not very talented people. I think you know the kind of YouTubers I'm talking about. I mean, there's a lot of no-talent people on YouTube, or just barely talented people who mostly benefit from the fact that they've been on the platform for a decade plus. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of people out there who are intimidated and just don't want to promote somebody who's actually talented. I think there's a lot of that going on. I think they're going to get shown up big time. Certain YouTubers just don't have any talent. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. I think we know that. We know Jeremy Hamley has zero talent. The guy is just really good at manipulating the SEO and all that, and you know, marketing. But he has no talent of any kind for entertaining people. No oratory, no rhetorical skills. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. Oh, I forgot my nicotine gum. Hell, that pisses me off. Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. All right, I got it. I'm going to have to buy some more of this stuff tomorrow, though. Oh, boy. Ugh. It's not cheap either, I'll tell you what. Well, the price ain't too bad. I think it's 64, 68 bucks or something like that. I forget. But you got like 310 pieces. It's a pretty good deal. It's not bad. I'm looking into other alternatives. But anyway, give me a sec to shape the gum. Matty Icy quit again. Yeah, Sticks quit again. I mean, really. How many times has Sticks Hexenhammer quit in the past few months? So, yeah. It looks like he's thrown in the towel. The dude drops off every few weeks. Yeah, Maddie, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Sticks Hexenhammer. He seems to have quit. Again. I mean, I'm sure he'll be back. Maybe he's not been arrested because he's still posting on Twitter. Though not as much as he used to. So he's still in the potatoes house. No, he's still posting on Twitter. He's not in jail. We would know about it. No, he's not in jail. He's just lazy. Yeah. He's just lazy, man. I think he's just lazy. Thought I would pop in and say hi. Nice to see you again. Hi, Dime. Okay, nice to see you. Glad to hear read your text. Okay. Even I sit up straight. I'm well and centered. I assume the sound is okay, guys. I'm only really joking when I complain about you guys complaining about the sound. So if there is a problem, let me know. But I think it's okay now. Again, I don't know how the mic setting went from 75 to 20. I must have just accidentally lowered it and not realized it. All right, let me get to the first subject here. All right, cool. It's good. All right, this is going to be single capture. I'm not going to be doing any screen capture. So let's just scroll back here. And cue it. So hello all and welcome. It is I, the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? I hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. So before I begin, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. It always helps. Also leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm. So there's been a lot of talk lately about people being LoLcows. You're a LoLcow. This person's a LoLcow. But what exactly is a LoLcow? I like to have my terms defined for me, but this term gets thrown about a little too liberally, and nobody ever defines it. Like, it's a very loose definition. Oh, this person's weird. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means. Every weird person's a LoLcow? And weird by what metric? What's your metric for weird? Just something that you're not familiar with, something you don't understand, something that isn't practiced by normal individuals. Well, if that was the case, then pianists would be weird. Because most people don't play the piano. So, hence, lack of quantity of something makes something weird. I mean, most people don't practice martial arts, but that's more common. So is that not weird? Is riding a unicycle odd? Does that make you weird because few people ride a unicycle? I mean, by the way, aren't there like those electric unicycles now that are like a big giant battery with a seat on it and one wheel? But I mean, is that what makes a LoLcow just one qualifier? And that's weird in some way? What exactly is it that makes a LoLcow a LoLcow? Nobody wants to say. And I think the reason nobody wants to say is because they want to have a very broad, open definition so that they can label others of being LoLcows without having any set definition. You know, so they can throw that ad hom about and poison the well, so to speak, attack your character so that other people won't listen to you, so that they'll look at you in a certain light. So I thought it was very important that we define what the heck a LoLcow is, because everybody's using this term and nobody seems to know what the hell it means beyond, oh, he seems weird. I don't know what the hell that means. So let's talk about it, okay? Now, I've been looking at studying, analyzing LoLcows for a while now because I've been talking about two of the biggest, Sticks X and Hammer 666 and Jeremy Hambley of the Quartery, who despite being a pretty successful guy, at least in YouTube terms, is most certainly a LoLcow. At least in the colloquial sense. But once we drill down to what it actually is and what defines it, will we still see him as a LoLcow? Probably. So I identified some key traits that all LoLcows seem to share. Not just general, label of weird guy, whatever the hell that means. It's not specific enough. So let's get a little more specific, shall we? And that way we can maybe get a better definition and thereby get better at identifying, accurately calling a spade, a LoLcow, instead of just, painting everybody with this broad brush of LoLcowdom. So the first thing that I noticed, and this doesn't seem to be across the board because there are some LoLcows who definitely are such that do not have this issue, but a lot do, and that's criminal activity and problems with the law, which, by the way, actually, now that I think about it, most do seem to have such because Jeremy Hambley is not in compliance with FDA law. So, and at least in my opinion, I mean, he's not putting the ingredients on his flavored coffee like he's supposed to. And, if somebody has an allergy, if they're allergic to a specific ingredient and they get sick, they could sue his ass and, he'd be done for. He also doesn't tell you where the coffee's made. So a flagrant disregard for the law, for the rules. This seems to be a general trait that most LoLcows share. Either an outright flagrant disregard, or they're actually someone that has warrants out for their arrest, or they've been arrested in the past, like Sticks, who is on the lam. Hasn't made content now for, 9 days? Don't know why. Maybe somebody clued him into law enforcement looking for him, so maybe he's scared. Maybe he's afraid to post for fear of them tracking him down. I don't think he has anything to worry about. He ain't no big fish, okay? Kaiser Sose, he ain't. So that's one trait that they all seem to share. Flagrant disregard, a lack of concern for legal niceties. Now, number two. Now this one, weird takes on life and reality. So we can very easily identify that trait with somebody like Sticks, Hexenhammer, right? Because this dude believes in demons. He believes he's made a pact with an owl demon. He thinks they're real. He thinks he's got some kind of quid pro quo relationship with said demon. He thinks there's some kind of, benefit to be gained from that relationship. He thinks he can offer up his blood in the form of some kind of ritual sacrifice and, this will get him some kind of benefit. I don't know if this guy's looked at his life. It seems like you're not getting anything out of this deal, quite the contrary. So there's weird takes like that. And how does that apply to somebody like Jeremy Hambley? Well, look at how the guy reacted to the whole flagging situation. I mean, instead of just not addressing it, quieting down, seeing that immediately responding to it got heavy pushback, and so he should go quiet, right? And he's been online for way longer than I have. I'll admit I have some naivete in that area, but I learned my lesson pretty quick. This guy, what did he do? He just kept doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. So weird takes on life in terms of not seeming to understand how the real world works, or weird takes like Sticks. That seems to be a cornerstone of these types of individuals. You got that Ethan Ralph guy. You've got that Dark Side Phil dude. I mean, all these people don't seem to really understand how the real world actually works. And so they just double down on their mistakes, their bad takes. They never admit they're wrong. I guess that's another trait of a LoLcow they don't admit their mistakes. They screw up and they blame everybody else, right? You're never at fault. Everybody else is at fault, right? So that's another trait that these LoLcow people seem to share, that whenever they screw up, it's not their fault. It's the world, it's bad luck, it's the malicious intent of somebody else. They didn't make any mistake to bring this kind of thing about. That there's no acknowledgement, no taking accountability, just, oh, it's everybody else's fault. I'm in no way to blame. That seems to be another trait. Another one seems to be like strange hobbies or weird lifestyles. With Styx, we know what his strange hobbies are. Blood magic and studying the occult and demonology and thinking that magic is real. That would be not understanding very well how reality works. Holding contradictory views like fallen angels and demons are real, but there's no God, but there's a hell. Yeah, that don't make no sense. But other strange hobbies that are just not quite in sync with the reality of being an adult. You've got the quartering who, I mean, he's got that RC obsession. He's got Funko Pop obsession. He's got NES obsession. I found out what that is. Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't know. Like original Nintendo games. I don't see the draw. I mean, was that 64-bit or something? I don't know. The graphics wouldn't be so great. But anyway, I guess a correlation in regards to my age would be like Atari. I remember we had the first Atari, right? Well, of course, we had the first computer. Was it a VIC? VIC 20? Might have been before that, because my brother was into computers, and he might have had the very first computer, which was a build your own. You got to remember, I'm old, and he's older. He's a few years older than me, so. The direct correlatory for me would be like the Atari. So if you're 15 years younger, so you probably, for you, it's Nintendo. Anyway, that seems like a strange hobby to me, but not as strange as the blood stuff. The Funko Pops, the Magic the Gathering cards. That to me is a strange hobby when you include the extremeness of it. Like you're spending 20, 30 grand just on game cards when you really don't have that much money. People think that the quartering, Jeremy Hambley, is rich. He's not. He never has been. The guy has spent the majority of his money on collectible crap, which is a very bad investment in most cases. Not all collectibles are a bad investment, mind you, but the ones that he collects, by and large, seem to be. And so that's very strange. That's very irresponsible, which, of course, brings us to another identifier of what makes a LoLcow, and that's being bad with money. They all seem to have this trait. Darkside Phil, that Ethan Ralph dude, Styx Hexenhammer, Jeremy Hambley. I mean, the list goes on and on. They all seem to be extremely bad with money. Why is that? Lack of understanding of how the world works, inability to control their impulses. I mean, you name it. A need for instant gratification. So they're very materialistic, gluttonous, hedonistic individuals. So hallmark of these types of people is, they're about pleasure for pleasure's sake. And that includes just spending money as quick as they get it. So most of the LoLcows I've seen, they're broke, or they're going broke, or they're already bankrupt. They spend beyond their means. They're in a very bad situation financially because they just don't know how to handle money. I don't know how you don't know how to handle money. I know what's in my account every day. Mental record. I don't need to look at my bank account. I know what I spend. I know how much it detracts from my account. I know how much is left in the account. I know that I'm going to be able to cover my rent for the next month. I know what I need for food and gas and everything and insurance and my phone bill. Everything is accounted for. I'm not spending any more than I have. But these people, they don't seem to really pay too much attention to these kind of real world necessities. So being bad with money seems to be another hallmark of a LoLcow. Another one seems to be like a fall. So this is another one insofar as your social media, your content creator LoLcow space, a fall from grace. So at one point in time, these people all seem to have been much bigger than they are now. And then at some point, they did something, said something that caused their viewership to tank into the ground. Flagging someone, or saying a series of stupid things, or doing a series of stupid things that really lowered their estimation in their fans' eyes, which then in turn tanked their channels. We can see this with the quartering. We can see this with Stick Sextonhammer, who's losing 4 or 5K subs per month. He's getting like 2-3K views per video. It's not too good. Maybe that's why he's been so absent lately. It's not worth his time in his mind. Darkside Phil also used to be much bigger. You got that Wings of Redemption guy. You got Boogie2988. I mean, good Lord, that guy. He once had what, 4 million plus subscribers? Got like billions of views on YouTube, and now he's, working on that crappy Keemstar show, LoLcow Live. Terrible, terrible content. Horrible, obviously fake, obviously performative. It looks like it's for like little, kids, or maybe tweens, teens. It's terrible, terrible content. All these people seem to share this fall from grace in common. Now, another one seems to be substance abuse. It seems like most, if not all of them, have this issue as well. They use the substances. They're snorting the creatine or the Addy, crushing up the Adderall, or, smoking the Gamja, or they're just drinking to excess. You know who we're talking about. It seems like most of them. Do this. That Ethan Ralph guy. Somebody told me he's like only 40 or something, or he's like early 40s. The guy looks like he's 60. He looks terrible. I mean, this guy, you've got Jeremy Hambley, 450-pound, tub of lard. You've got Sticks, the exact opposite, because he doesn't eat, it seems. His diet is, liquid. Substance abuse seems to be another characteristic hallmark of these LoLcow individuals. Now, granted, not all of them suffer from this, but of course, there's different substances as well. You've got food addiction, you've got booze addiction, you've got drug addiction, you've got sex addiction, you've got spending addiction. So actually, they all do have some form of addictive personality. It's just they feed their addiction in a different way, despite the dopamine, and to get that hit. So they're all addicts. That's another thing they all seem to share. Addiction problems. All these LoLcows are addict-type personalities. They can't help themselves. They have no self-control, no impulse control. They got nothing going on in their lives. They got no purpose. They got no meaning. And so they try to fill that empty void within with things, and it's kind of void that can only be filled with, things of actual substance in regards to giving meaning and purpose, but those things actually have no material dimensions. And so it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't work. They're incompatible. So it's a gaping chasm, abyss with no bottom. And you try to fill it with things because, it's incompatible. And so they all seem to share these similar traits. Flagrant disregard for the law, for the rules that govern the rest of us, as if they're above such concerns. Weird takes on life, weird takes on reality, on how the world actually works. Weird, strange hobbies and or lifestyles. Substance abuse. Another one seems to be degenerate activity, hedonism, which we already discussed. And every one of them seems to have, at some point, suffered a fall from grace in regards to social media. They're all bad with money. All of them. And then, of course, we have the last one here I think I'm going to discuss. And this trait they all share, it seems. Shameless and excessive begging to cover for their bad spending. Now, we see this from all of them. You got Sticks with his, yearly or even like twice a year. How many times has this guy grifted for a new PC? But it looks like he's got the same PC. I mean, again and again and again, I need a new PC, and I'm doing a fundraiser. Now, he hasn't done anything like that in the past few months because he's been on the lam from the law since, like, what was it, February? So he's trying to keep a low profile. Not succeeding very well. But, guy's a shameless beggar. How many times did this guy say, honesty, that's another one. Woo! Lying. Pathological liars, in addition to excessive begging, which we got from the quartering, your Ethan Rouse, from your DSPs, to sticks. You've also got the pathological lying. Now, why do people lie? What's the difference between being a liar and a pathological liar? Well, a pathological liar will lie even when they don't need to. Well, why do they do that? Because it makes them feel more in control. Pathological liars will lie even when they don't have to, because it makes them feel more in control of the situation, more in control of the narrative. Now, all these people have this trait. From Sticks to Jeremy Hambley to your DSP and your Ethan Ralph, all these people. They're big-time liars. They have no problem with lying. I mean, look at the quartering. You know, I need $80,000 for a K-cup machine. Meanwhile, we know, speculatively, but I know, in my opinion, and I think everybody else shares this opinion, that this guy doesn't have no coffee warehouse, okay? Unless if what you term as a coffee warehouse is where he stores his wholesale bought coffee. Now, if that's what you're talking about, yeah. But he doesn't have a production facility of his own. It's white label. Dare I say drop ship? Technically, it would be like white label. You know, in my opinion, speculatively, it's getting bought from Mill Creek, you know, and he's trying to claim that he makes it. He didn't get no K-cup machine. He didn't do that. You know, but he grifted off of needing a new machine. He grifted off of needing money to, I don't know what. I don't remember what that $300K was for that he said he needed, that he eventually ended up getting that HELOC for. But this guy's constantly begging his audience for cash, but lying about needing it. Like AmpFest, I need $13,000 to cover the expenses. Meanwhile, he had already paid all the expenses, right? He didn't need the money. And then one person, like one monster donor, gave him most of the cash, and the only requirement condition was that he donate what's left over to like Toys for Tots or something. And we don't know if he ever did that. I don't think he did, because if he had, he would have bragged about it constantly. So these people are all shamelessly dishonest, and when they're caught lying, they don't address it. They don't address it. They don't take accountability. They don't take responsibility. Yet another hallmark of a LoLcow type individual. So these are kind of all the traits, and you could have like one or two, I think, and you wouldn't be a LoLcow. But from what I've seen, they all seem to have the vast majority of these traits in common. And so anyhow, I guess that's kind of how you would define a LoLcow. Shameless, excessive begging, bad with money, fall from social media grace, degenerate lifestyle, substance abuse issues, strange hobbies, weird lifestyles, as it were, you know, like swinging and having Wisconsin Bulls come over to bang your wife, flagrant disregard for the law and the rules as if it doesn't apply to them, an inability to take accountability for their actions, total disregard for honesty, and oftentimes pathological lying, but just outright lying, no problem with that at all, as long as it serves their interests and their end goal. Honesty really isn't a consideration. And so those all seem to be the traits that make up a LoLcow, and you could have a couple missing and they'd still be a LoLcow. But they all seem to share, the vast majority of these traits have them in common. So anyway, I guess that's a pretty good list of qualifiers for what would make a LoLcow. Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you have any you want to add. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I hear it's good for the algorithm. Also, if you'd like to support my continued content creation, you can leave a super chat. You can join my YouTube channel as a monthly supporting member by hitting the join button. Or you can follow me on Patreon. Find those links in the description, along with all my social media links. And on that note, I'm out of here, guys. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good overview in regards to defining our terms about what a LoLcow is. Maybe I could be wrong. Or maybe I missed a few. I don't know. Adam Mayo. I don't know what that... Matty Ice, the dude drops off every few weeks. Yeah, Matty Ice jail pass. He's not in jail. He's a Stick Sex and Hammer 666 still posting every day on Twitter multiple times. Everybody says this sounds good, so okay. LoLcows are humans from the future, says Alexander. No! Oh, come on. Superman, if you thought ADD was made up, yeah, it is. I don't think I know it. Excited plasma is in the room. LoLcow is a term that Kiwi farm users made up, so it's not a real term. Well, it is. They use it to what the problem is. It's real. Well, I mean, no terms are real, technically speaking. So all words are made up, all terms are made up. The problem with the Kiwi farms people, they didn't really define it because they wanted to, have leeway to make fun of whoever they wanted. So if they were to define that term in a detailed way, they'd be less able to target and dunk on and label people as such if they were more thorough in defining said term. So that's why they didn't go to any real, extent to do so. That and they're lazy. No Way Out. LoLcow is part outlaw. Superman. NES is 8-bit. Really? Wow, that's terrible. How could you play 8-bit games? Well, if NES is 8-bit, what the hell is Atari? Oh God, I can't imagine. Like 2-bit or something? ESG, pathological liars also like to embellish. Yes, of course. Well, that's for self-aggrandizement. Usually the embellishment is in regards to their achievements, accomplishments, or contributions in a given situation. Favorite and Curious says, but some people find monogamy to be boring. Why judge them? I don't know what you mean by boring. What do you mean by judge? I don't know what you're talking about. Favorite and Curious music. We all judge, right? Don't we? I mean, if we didn't judge, how would we make determinations about what is good and what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is hot, what is cold, what is dangerous, what is safe? I know what you're talking about. Why wouldn't I judge them? Why wouldn't I judge you? If you're doing something wrong. So first of all, why would you be bored with monogamy? You must be with the wrong person. Well, then you're with the wrong person. You have the wrong mindset. You have the wrong outlook toward life and reality. So you need to change. Because it doesn't work. That's why. Because non-monogamous relationships don't work. They're not fulfilling. They don't bring purpose and meaning. They're less quality than a monogamous relationship. It's better, not subjectively, but objectively, insofar as how the relationship itself plays out in the objective world. It's better objectively speaking in terms of outcome than non-monogamous. And we know this because of thousands and thousands of years of recorded history. We know what works. We know what doesn't. We know what formula works for life. We know what formula does not work. And life has only one formula. There aren't two. There's the formula for life, and there's the one that is the formula for life that doesn't work, so it's not the formula for life. Just like you mix X, Y, and Z together, you get certain alloy. You mix X, Y, and A, you don't get that alloy. So, yeah. One leads to purpose and meaning, and one does not. or less purpose and less meaning. So you want to maximize purpose, you want to maximize meaning. Well, non-monogamy is not the way to go. Now, if that's what you want, regardless of how much it enhances, improves, contributes to your life, fine. You're allowed to make bad choices. Go ahead. You can do that. Sure, but I'm going to judge you. Of course I'm going to judge you. Why wouldn't I? By the way, you got all these people running around who were in their non-monogamous relationships, judging me, judging you, judging anybody that believes in something other than they do. But you don't want to do the same to them? Yeah, get out of here. Favorite and Curious Music says, content making is intrinsically toxic. I don't think so. I think what I do is quite beneficial. I think it's quite beneficial. I dunk on people who are eminently dunkable. I don't dunk on people who are not dunkable. I only dunk on people who have made bad choices, bad decisions, who pursue paths in life that are self-destructive as a teachable moment to show people what not to do. That's it. And by contrast, teach them what path they should be on. That's quite productive, actually. That's not toxic at all. We should be trying to pull each other up. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm pulling people up by showing them how not to pull themselves down. I mean, this touchy-feely crap that you're talking about doesn't help anybody. It's called tough love, man. The reason that Styx Hexenhammer 666 is in such a crappy bind, is such a terrible position in life, is because nobody's shown him tough love. His parents were either too nice or they neglected him and didn't care. Look at where he is now. Who's telling him the truth? I'm just telling the truth. How is telling someone the truth toxic? Can you tell me that? No, you can't. Kalashnikova Styx is broke as hell and living with a potato. Where's he getting the cash from? So people seem to forget that Styx Hexenhammer 666 has a subscribe star and a Patreon. 4 months ago, he was getting about $1,000 a month from each. I don't know how much he gets now. I wouldn't be surprised if it was still about the same amount. And he only has to buy food. He's not paying rent, obviously. And even in New York City, it doesn't cost $1,000 a month for food. Well, I mean, unless you're like buying Uber Eats and friggin' takeout all the time, which he very well could be. The guy is irresponsible. But I don't think so. So that's where his money's coming from, and he's not getting much of it. But yeah, let's, I think we should move on. Yep. Maybe move on. All right, give me a sec. I gotta open up some windows. Oh, okay. I think maybe I'll talk about, yeah, let me see here. What do I want to do next? Oh, my illness, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't know about that. It might be boring to you, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Some people did ask, and some people seem curious. So why not? Sure, okay. like my prognosis. So hello everybody and welcome. It is I, the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? I hope you're all doing good, fine and well. I'm doing okay, I'm doing all right. Well, I mean, at the moment I'm doing okay. Well, not really. My health is horrible. My health is horrible and, tired all the time. But other than that, I'm peachy keen. So I wanted to talk about my illness because it explains to a large extent why I am where I'm at now, my current living situation, my current work situation, and what my survival prognosis is, which actually isn't very good. So not last year, actually 2024, I got sick with sepsis. It was July. Start of July. So, oh geez, it's been almost 2 years. But anyway, And I got sick. And when it happened, I didn't really think it was a big deal. But it turned out to be really bad. And before I knew it, I went into shock and ended up in the ICU for like a month in a chemically induced coma with a sucker bag attached to my leg to, suck out all the pus and necrotized tissue and fat and everything that got broke down in my leg by the infection. And, recovered from the immediate life-threatening effects in late August. And now I've spent pretty much every month since then working very hard to recover from that. Potions, concoctions of various sorts, experimenting with this supplement and that supplement. And since then I had a heart attack and a stroke, both very common after effects of the severity of the shock and sepsis that I went through. And I tried everything and landed on a few things that actually did help, like cacao powder, which helps stimulate stem cell production so that my body could regenerate, things like that. But it's been rough. It's been very rough. And I was actually given a pretty, limited prognosis of survival. So I wanted to go over it real quick here so you understand the severity of my situation. So for patients who survived the initial hospitalization for severe sepsis or septic shock, the 5-year survival rate is approximately 40 to 60%. So to put that in layman's terms, my odds of surviving another 3 years are between 40 and 60%. And it's not looking so good because I've already had serious health complications afterwards. So the odds are pretty good. I'll be dead in 3 years. Okay. I'm not really too concerned about it because I don't fear death. Of course, I'm doing everything I can, exercising and eating right and trying to get sleep, though my sleep sucks. This means a patient who leaves the hospital is significantly more likely to pass away from related complications or comorbidities within the next 5 years compared to someone who's never had the condition. Now, why the long-term risk? Well, sepsis and septic shock cause immense stress on the immune system, organs, and cardiovascular system. The higher mortality rate over the 5 years following the event is primarily driven by underlying conditions. The initial infection often exploits a weakened immune system. Now, fortunately for me, I haven't been getting sick. I attribute that to a large extent to my carnivore diet. Now, secondary vulnerabilities. Survivors face a significantly increased risk of cardiovascular events. Check. Already had that. Like heart attack or strokes. Had both. Although the stroke was relatively minor, thank God. Could have been much worse. And recurrent infections in the years that follow. Now, in that sense, I've been kind of lucky. So that gives me some, I don't know about hope. Long-term physical cognitive decline. Many patients do not fully recover their pre-sepsis baseline health. Yeah, I'm not back yet, even after almost 2 years, which can reduce longevity, particularly for older adults. Yeah. Recovery and aftercare. Resources managing post-sepsis health requires careful monitoring by medical professionals. Yeah, I haven't been doing that too much. If you're researching this, I haven't really been too proactive in that regard. So, I don't know. What do you want? We don't live in an ideal world. So that's my survival prognosis. And honestly, I'm not too concerned because it really wouldn't do any good. There's not a lot I can do. I can only keep sucking down cacao on a daily basis, 2 to 4 servings, trying to produce as many stem cells as humanly possible, exercising 5 days a week, in increasing increments to bring it up. I'm up to 47 minutes a session now, eating well, and generally not trying to strain myself too much. This is why doing this show and working my job are killing me. It's why I'm no longer working as a mechanical engineer. The specific industry that I was in, I'm not going to get into it because, well, A, it's none of your business, and B, it would be far too easy to identify who I am through my job. Well, not far too easy, but it would be easier. It would be giving people needless information that would allow them to hone in more on me and possibly dox me. It's a long shot, but I don't want to give out too much personal information. I'm an anonymous content creator, but I do have at least the guts to show my own face. But I don't want to give people so much information that they could, potentially, dox me. But the industry that I was in, very, very physically demanding. Not the mechanical design part, but the implementation. I can't do it anymore. I can't do very physically demanding work anymore because of my health problems. So I do what I can, and that's really it. I do what I can. So my earning ability potential, it's nowhere near what it used to be. That's life. Again, I do what I can. And yeah, that's where I am now. That's where I've been in this place. This apartment I don't like very much for over a year and a half now, because of my health and because of a strong likelihood, because of my bad health, that I'll be dead in a few years. But I don't let it get me down. There's nothing I could do about it. And I didn't really fear death before, and if I didn't fear it before, the coma and, this prognosis and the hell that I went through to recover, I sure as heck am not afraid of it now. Death doesn't frighten me in the least. I love life very, very much, but death doesn't really in any way concern me. But anyway, that's kind of where I am in terms of my health. Thought I would, elucidate people about my current health condition, explain a little bit about why a person like myself is in the situation I am now, and why it's kind of hard to get out of, and why I'm so tired all the time. But anyway, yeah, just giving you a little more background about me and what I've been going through the past couple of years. If you've been watching my channel a while, you would know, but nobody wants to go back that far, and it's a lot of material to go through, so I figure I'd summarize it and just make it easier for you to understand where I'm at now and the whys of it. But anyway, if you like my content, if you'd like to help me out, you can give me a thumbs up, you can share it, you can leave a super chat, you can support me on YouTube on a monthly basis by clicking the join button beneath this video, or you can join my Patreon, the link of which is in the description. It'd also be really cool if you follow me on social media. I like to banter and interact with my fans, so that's a good way to do so. And if you support and contribute to my continued content creation, you can also email me, and if you do so, I will email you back. I have a number of people I talk to on a regular basis who are supporters via email. I very much enjoyed that. Anyway, on that note, I'm out of here. I am the Realist Philosopher. Hope you feel informed by this information. I hope it explains a little bit about myself to you. And I wish you all a good and pleasant day. And take care. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get into that because I think I got a lot of new followers who really don't understand, aren't in the loop. So I figured that would probably help to get them in said loop. Not very interesting, I know. But, yeah, it's what it is. I'm not really that interesting a guy. I mean, maybe I am, I don't know. But you gotta know me a little more first. Man, hey, Grunt, how you doing? All LoLcow share narcissism. Yeah, okay, well, there's a good one. But it's not Yeah, yeah. Very self-involved people. Matty Ice, love you, bro. I don't know if you're religious, but I'm gonna pray for you, and I hope everything works out. It really sucks. Based Acid Fox. Ever seen someone go from normal to all effed up like sticks? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a fall from grace for sure. Yeah, Stick, Sex, and Hammer. Oh, I don't know why he quit making content, honestly. He's totally, completely disappeared for a week and a half now. Well, actually, I do know. He said that the R dot 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 tards, you know the R word I'm talking about that you're not allowed to say on YouTube. Yeah, free speech, my aching butt. Um, he said he's getting tired of the R's a-logging him, dunking on him, which I don't understand because he doesn't respond, and he said he doesn't care. So I mean, we all don't know that's just a cope, of course. He obviously cares a lot. But yeah. Now this will be fun. Kalashnikova. You lived in China for years and built a business. I'm curious to hear about what you think about the Chinese people and country compared to the U.S. Oh, that's a good question. So, all right, I'll talk about that. Thank you, Kalashnikova. China is a very different country than America in a number of ways. Number one, it's a lot more homogenous race-wise. 99 plus percent of the population are Chinese. That's number one. Number two, they all speak the same language for the most part. Now, some do speak Cantonese as well, depending on the region, but everybody speaks Mandarin. And this is because the Chinese Communist Party went to a great deal of effort after they came into power to enforce Mandarin on everyone. They realized that if they wanted to have collective cohesiveness, that the entire country needed to speak the same language, and there were a number of different dialects, and they wanted to make sure that everybody could communicate, that they would have a cohesive culture, and so they imposed mandatory Mandarin speaking on everybody. So even if somebody in China speaks Mandarin, some other dialect, they all speak Mandarin, for the most part anyway. So, unless you're talking about Hong Kong, which was, recently reunited with China. I mean, not all that recent, but in general terms, pretty recent. There are some Hong Kong people who only speak Cantonese, but generally speaking, everybody speaks the same language. They all look the same. It's a very high trust society. But they don't have many outsiders. They don't have many foreigners. They don't want them. So that's something that's very good, actually. That was something that I liked a lot about China. Of course, you might say, well, you was a white guy in China. They didn't have much trust in regards to yourself. I don't know. I never had an issue there, really. I didn't really get much in the way of derision or scorn. I mean, they call you a white devil a lot, low-eye, but I mean, that's not so polite. But that's just commonly how they refer to us. But they're pretty polite people, and they're very intelligent. That's another difference. While the average IQ in America is 95 now, the average IQ there is like 110, 115. The Chinese are very good at math and science. They're much better in math and science than we are. They're not very creative, though, which is why they don't invent much, if anything. I could explain the lack of creativity. It has a lot to do with their written language and how it differs from ours and how that changes the way that they think. But regardless, they're very smart and they're very intellectually curious. They are very curious people because they lack so much exposure to the outside world, especially recently, because when I went there, 2004 to 2005, they hadn't really perfected the Great Wall of China as much as they have now. The Great Wall of China is what we foreigners living there referred to as their firewall. And at that time, it was sort of kind of the wild, wild west in China for a foreigner. And you could really get away with a lot more and have a lot more freedom as a foreigner there. They didn't have as developed computer networks. And so you had a VPN. Even if you didn't have a VPN, you could access it sometimes like outside websites. You can't do that anymore. Um, but even then, they didn't really get much exposure to the outside world. And if they wanted to watch foreign movies and such, most of them went to black market CD shops. I used to shop at these, by the way. I had a nice big collection when I first moved there. My first year or two in China was pretty rough. Setting up a new business in a new country. I mean, I had to rent like a. I mean, it was a terrible apartment. You're first setting up a business in any country. I mean, finances weren't my issue, but I had to devote all of my money, all of my resources to growing the business, hiring employees. So it was really, really expensive, and so I allocated very little for rent, and so I, was just renting a hole in the wall for a while there until things became successful, and that's the case with a lot of businesses. You're not going to be profitable for the first year, but anyway, what was I on about? But oh, I forgot my train of thought. But yeah, they're very intellectually curious. And oh yeah, the CD shops. That was actually I built up a pretty big collection when I first got there because it was difficult to get access to a lot of outside internet, and so you couldn't buy foreign movies there. So the way it would work is there'd be like these CD shops, these DVD shops, where you could buy South Korean dramas or Chinese movies, and then in the back room were all the Western DVDs. And the Chinese, they would burn them using their own burner machines, and then you'd pay like 6-7 yuan per movie, and they would come in like these little cardboard sleeves, and Chinese people love collecting these, and sometimes these back rooms would get raided by the PSB. That's just a Chinese police force basically, and it was just a shakedown, right? They'd be open in a week after they paid off the local officials. So the reason they would get raided is because they hadn't paid off the local PSB. And if the PSB found out, which they eventually did, they'd raid it and they would confiscate all of the movies, all your stock, and all your burner machines, and then you'd have to pay them off, and then you'd get all of it back. You just reopen. So they hadn't greased the right palms. So that's kind of how it is. They try to limit exposure to outside influence as much as possible, which is kind of what most of the no koofity koof policy was, zero koof policy. They were trimming the verge, as it were, removing as many outside influences as possible, and tightening their control to maximum over people, because they felt they had lost some control over the years, and it greatly reduced the number of foreigners in China. But it's a really great place was a great place to live if you were a foreigner. Not anymore. Now they've perfected their Great Wall. If you go there as a foreigner, it's really hard to live. They've made it even more difficult, and so. But my time there was pretty good. Mm. Superman Boogie 2988 once said, "If you put yourself out there, expect to catch S." Yeah. Based Acid Fox, Chinese people have different ethnicities. Some of them are even Turkic people. Yeah. Yeah. Guilo. Yeah. Van Houten. No, I'm not eating. It's nicotine gum. All right. I'm going to move on. I see you, Doodlebird, but I don't want to get into the particulars right now. It's too long a story. Let me move on to the sword stuff. I got to open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, geez. I got to open a bunch of different video tabs, so give me a sec. Yeah, so a lot of people have talked about and tried to misrepresent and use the fact that I practice the art of the sword to label me a LoLcow or something. because they'll like go through, and I just found out, yeah, I had a bunch of like shorts I didn't even know about on my old sword channel that were viewable. And you know, Pearls Before Swine is mostly what it's about. People really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They think because we live in the age of Google that they are masters of the sword, even though they never pick one up, and that they can somehow evaluate your skill or your ability when they're just some layman goofball who's never been in combat. I find it very amusing that rando people who have no experience think they can evaluate this stuff. That just speaks to their arrogance. But yeah, and yes, I'm opening tabs. The only reason I'm still talking is because I don't want to have dead air, because I know most of you people out there have TikTok brain, and if I wasn't speaking, you would be gone. You'd be gone. Because, well, TikTok brain. No offense intended. It's not your fault. You've grown up in a culture, an education system that does not reward or even encourage or teach mental discipline or focus, so you don't know how to do it. It's just, it's how you've been trained, it's how you've been programmed. So I don't really fault you, at least initially, although I think once you become an adult that you need to improve yourself. So partially it is your fault for not improving this lack on your part. But anyway, okay, there we go. The last tab is open. And it's a short. Okay, good. Unfortunately, I have no ability to interact with said short, but okay, whatever. And we're ready to go. And let me see if there's any comments that I want to read before I get into it. Holy yes, you're a brave soul. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but okay. I don't know about brave. I don't have a lot of fear. All right, let's do screen capture. Yeah, let's do this. I pressed the wrong button in my live streaming software. All right. So we'll get into this. Oh, I need some hydration. And by the way, you'll find these videos are kind of old. So hello all and welcome. It is I, the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing okay, I'm doing all right. So I wanted to talk about my practice of the sword and the fact that I practice it and have been doing it for like 50 years now, blah, 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 yeah. Some people don't give a crap, but some do, and some have tried to use it as a way to kind of poison the waters and try and make me look like some kind of, you know, weirdo or LoLcow or something by going through videos and just picking out like a few second snippets and then presenting those snippets as if they were actually some kind of dunk or own. Oh, look at this, he looks goofy. Meanwhile, all they could find is a few seconds of a video that to the layman might look like, you know, oh, that don't look too good. Meanwhile, what the person is doing is twisting wrist or some kind of very specific exercise that isn't what people are used to seeing or they know from movies and from YouTube videos. So it doesn't line up with what they think they know. And this is really a lot of the problem with people today is they think they're masters of something they've never done. They're lay people who have never picked up a sword, have never studied a martial art, who've never been in combat in their lives, and they don't know anything. But because they've seen some YouTube videos or some movies, they think they're experts and that they can look at a video, look at somebody doing something that they have zero training in, and somehow evaluate their skill or ability without even knowing what they're actually doing, what specific aspect of their practice they're focusing on. And so it's absurd to me. So I remembered that I had some videos from about 21 or 22 years ago that I filmed when I first arrived in China. And I initially posted them on a Chinese website because I wanted to network with other people overseas who practice the sword. I wanted to fight spar with some other people to keep my skills sharp, maybe potentially start teaching again. And I'm not going to get into how well that worked out. Mixed results, but it's a big country. But anyways, you can see the Chinese character there. That apartment in the background is my very first apartment in China. As you can see, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty low rent, pretty low tier. The reason for this is because, not because I couldn't afford better, but because I wanted to minimize all of my expenses so I could put everything I made back into the business. So you want to start a business, you got to sacrifice. So I think this was my first year there. First year was rough. Got sick a lot. The air there, a lot of pollution. So anyway, this video, which nobody is going to make snippets of because couldn't try and present me, make me look bad in some kind of disingenuous, dishonest way as somebody who doesn't know anything about this art. This video is me using the sword with one finger. If you're a master of the sword, and keep in mind this is I think 22 years ago, you should be able to use the sword with one finger. Yeah, and make it sing. I'm not going to get into what that even means. So I apologize for the video quality because I had a potato for a camera. I didn't know much about computers at the time, and I didn't know what to get, and so I just bought a camera, a webcam, and I don't know if this is even 320, but let's take a look. I don't even know if the sound is good. Some of these videos have sound, some don't. The ones that don't, I learned how to put in audio narration. But anyway, let's take a look, shall we?
In this demonstration, I'm demonstrating using the sword with one finger. Last time it was two, now it's one. And even with one finger, as you can see, my cuts are controlled. I'm able to transition from one cut to the next. Might be a slight loss.
The control isn't as good in terms of the transition of the blade from one cut to the next because I'm only using one finger.
My cutting technique is still proper. I'm still able to control the blade.
And you can hear the whoosh of the blade. That is the blade singing. The breathing is an exhalation of breath outwards to create tension in the gut. Also to control motion. If you don't breathe properly, you don't move properly. No, it is not me making a whoosh sound for the blade.
Again, it may look like at some points my fingers are closed up, but I can assure you I'm not cheating. It's extremely difficult to keep them wide open as I'm using this sword. For those of you who are doubting Marys, I'm now sticking something in between my three fingers and the gripping finger I'm using. So you know I can't grip it.
I just put a comb in between three of my four fingers, so you know for sure I'm only using one finger to grip the sword. Only masters can do this, by the way.
As you see, no difference whatsoever. Just doing a little correction there. The comb I'm gripping in between my fingers.
And that was turning a cut into a thrust, facing the same direction.
I'll admit this is not easy to do. It's a very good way to test out your cutting technique and, in truth, reinforce proper cutting technique. Like I said, folks, you will learn things in these videos that you would not see anywhere else, hear about, or learn anywhere else.
That is correct.
I will cover everything throughout my videos on practical, useful sword work. I'll reiterate, this is no cheap piece of junk broken that you'd buy at your local store. It weighs 2.5 pounds, has a balance point of 8 inches above the guard, and is modeled after a very old katana that I own. And if you want to talk about using this sword correctly, you should be able to use it with 2 fingers. Try using it with just 1 finger. It may look like my thumb is closed up. It is not gripping the sword.
Only the thumb pad and 1 finger.
It's just very difficult to keep it so open that it's sticking out at its maximum open point, swinging the sword like this. But I can promise you I am not cheating. And only 1 finger is gripping the blade. And I'm still gripping something in between my 3 fingers, so you know I'm only using
That was a cut becoming a thrust.
1.
Okay. Video 1. Let's move on. 2 fingers. So a little more control here, using 2 fingers instead of 1.
Video, I'm going to be demonstrating using the sword one-handed with just 2 fingers. Now, if you're going to use the boken properly and have proper cutting technique, you should be able to use it with just 2 fingers.
That is absolutely correct. Only masters can use it with 1 effectively. 2 is the bare minimum you should be able to use the sword with if you have any level of skill.
So my cuts are nice and smooth, neat. Blade's not getting out of control, smooth, cut thrust, cut thrust. A lot of people don't know what proper cutting technique looks like because they're used to seeing crappy demonstrations on sites like this, or they've seen too many movies, and they know what looks good, they know what looks entertaining, but they haven't been conditioned.
Those sounds is the blade whooshing. I challenge you to try and make a boken whoosh. You won't be able to do it. Maybe very minimally with 2 hands, but it's extremely difficult.
Know what looks correct. So they've been taught to think what they see that looks good entertains them. Well, it's flashy. Well, that's correct. It's not. This is correct cutting technique. What I'm doing here is just trying to get those fingers to stay so open that you can actively see them even when I'm swinging. And sometimes my fingers will close up a little, but I can promise you I'm not cheating. I'm gripping with only...
Those cuts there are called fire and stones cuts. There are different types of cuts.
2 fingers throughout this whole entire demo.
You can see the slight difference in control, a little more here than with just 1 finger in regards to transitioning from one cut to the next.
Now please keep in mind that boken I'm using is not some piece of junk that you would buy at the local store.
The differential between a good boken and a bad is weight and density of the wood.
It weighs 2.5 pounds. Has a balance point of 8 inches above the guard. And I had it specially made to exactly match the weight and balance. An old katana I have.
Actually, it's got worse balance. I like using bokens that have worse balance than a real sword would.
Now try.
That's just me resetting it a bit because this is just smooth wood. There's no wrap, so it will be a little slipping if you're using 2 fingers. Not if I use 5, though.
Try using the katana with just 2 fingers.
Well, 4.
This is how you're going to know if your cutting technique is proper, because you're using the body to cut. That's proper cutting technique. If you're using the arm, if your cutting technique is improper, then you're not going to be able to use the sword correctly with just 1 hand. It's going to be awkward cuts, you're not going to be able to cut at all, and the blade is going to end up pulling you along and controlling you, just the other way around.
Okay. Interesting yet? Okay, so I hold the world record for the world's fastest correct draw cut. You're free to get a time clock and time it. No one in the world is better at this than me. So you are talking to world champion of Aido draw cutting. That's 22 years ago, of course, but nobody's faster, nobody's better, and it's just that simple. So here we have the world record for the world's fastest correct draw cut. And by the way, it is not with your hand already on the grip. That does not emulate reality. In the real world, your hand would not be on the grip of your sword 24/7. It would be at your sides. You need to be able to grab the grip, draw the blade, and cut all in one motion. You can't already have your hand on the grip. But here we go. And yeah, it's a crappy picture. No help for that.
Sheathing the blade. Very interesting aspect. You draw.
That sound you heard was the edge cutting the air. When you cut with a sword, you should hear it sing. With a boken, it's going to be a whoosh. Some bokens whoosh louder than others based on their shape. Some are harder to make sing because of the shape of the boken. The better you can make them sing, a higher sign that is of your cutting technique, your skill, your technical ability. In regards to an edged weapon, it should sing. And you will hear the sing here, even though the audio is crap.
Sheath. They should be able to transition.
This is a real sword, by the way, I'm holding.
From your draw to your cut. Back in smoothly. Here comes your opponent. You're cut one-handed. He goes to draw his blade. Who's got their hand on their sword already? I'm walking along, I'm not like this all day. My hand's over here. I'm walking here. I'm walking. I'm walking. There's my enemy. Nobody fights. Walks around there like this. Woo! Somebody attack me! No, your hands to the side. Just like the quick draw with the gun. You got your hand like here. Right here all day. Your hands there. You're walking. You're walking. Enemy. With the old quick draw guns, you had to use two hands. One, cock, the other fire. So, you don't have your hand on your weapon all day. See, these Jitsu guys and Aido guys like this. Too easy. No. You gotta be able to grab and draw in the same motion. And you gotta be able to cut anywhere.
And that is world-class Aido, and nobody's faster or was than me or better technically. This is what I'm talking about. People don't know what they're talking about. You'll look at a video, look at a snippet, not know what the person is doing, totally out of context, and so, oh, that doesn't look that good, oh, that looks goofy. Yeah, that's because you're uninformed, and you don't know what's happening, and you don't know what the person is doing, and you don't know what particular specific skill or aspect is being focused upon in that exercise. So it can be misrepresented by unintelligent, ignorant, or nefarious actors to try and present you in a way that is inaccurate. Anyway, moving on. Mastering the cut. We got some more interesting stuff here. This might have sound. We'll see.
Thrusting properly is the same as cutting properly. You want to master the cut, master the thrust. It's the most simple aspects of the sword that lead to actual mastery.
Notice how much the body's moving in relation to the arm. The arm does very little. The body is where most of your power comes from. The arm just transfers it.
The most complex ones.
What's most key is the indomitable wrists would be the best translation. So you have to work your forearms The amount of pain you're going to experience is severe, and you must develop wrists. Well, the term is generally that are indomitable. Very strong forearms are required. By the way, none of this is sped up. The lack of sound is because I screwed something up in the editing, I think. But all of this is real speed, real time speed. By the way, those upward thrusts are so the blade goes into the stomach, penetrates up through the chest cavity underneath the ribs to enter the heart or lung. So you bypass the ribs that way.
Upward thrust through the gut into the heart. Quick hand switch there. Upward thrusting. Downward thrust.
Downward thrust would be to penetrate the top of the neck between the head and the shoulder. Nice and soft there.
More cuts, cut thrust, and switch. Everything should be second nature. No thought is required. Thrust, block, cuss.
That was a paré, thrust, cut, paré.
Thrust, so thrust, block, and then cut. All in about a quarter of a second there.
Maybe more like half, but anyway, it's 4 movements.
The ability to cut and thrust is very important. Any cut should be able to become a thrust, any thrust should be able to become a cut. The transition should be smooth and seamless. See how smoothly and easily I go from one thrust to another, one cut to a thrust. It's because I practice these movements slowly as well. Where you can go fast, you must master going slow. You must master the motion itself. Speed comes from proper technique and practice, not from trying to
Yeah, I don't try to move fast. It's just a byproduct, the correct technique.
attain speed. That's really what mastering anything is about. Practice and focusing on the simplicity, breaking it down into its most simple parts, mastering each of those parts. Simple upward thrusts, practicing thrusts at different angles, during thrusts and cuts, downward thrust, fluidity exercise here. Giving another lesson there. I promise you folks, in the future there will be audio. Talking about the ridge of the back of the blade. You thrust upward, generally use the back of the blade, straight ahead, tend to use the flat, thrust into the ribs, so the blade will actually go through them.
Yeah, don't thrust into the ribs with the back edge upwards. It'll get caught on the ribs. Don't want that.
See how my back foot is slipping? The floor is, as I said, quite wet.
So these apartments are all made out of concrete. There's very little in the way of ventilation. The floors are tile. So unless you have perfect balance, you're going to be slipping and sliding all over the freaking place because of the buildup of moisture everywhere from me sweating.
But sometimes in combat you have no choice where you're going to fight. It's good to practice on many different terrains and types of surfaces, so that when you get into a combat situation, which is something you can never control, and you can certainly almost never control where it happens, you want to be prepared. Don't fool yourself, though these look like very smooth cuts, they're also extremely powerful. Don't let the fact that it seems effortless fool you. Most power comes from effortless action.
That sounds paradoxical, but it's not.
It's that speed, but it's real speed. It's not quickness. It's not achieved by effort. And there's the quick transition there from cutting right to left, right to left.
None of these movements can be done thinking about them, by the way. Everything is no thought. It's referred to as a mushin in Japan.
Left.
Anyway.
Almost all power is expended, and the blade is transitioned back onto a new path. You cut again.
These are called fire and stones cuts.
Not easy to achieve.
You can almost hear the blade whooshing even though there's no sound.
Notice everything's a circle.
Next! Let me check the, yeah, coolness. We've got audio. All right. Let's continue. Fluidity of motion and transition. Some of you might be bored, but some may not.
Those were simple block cuts, sweeping aside an enemy's blade and attacking, whether it be a thrust or a cut they're delivering. More fluidity motion. See how quick and easily the blade just switched from one hand to another? Another control exercise here. See how the blade cuts and stops, cuts and stops. No energy is wasted whatsoever. Your main focus should be control, control, control. I cannot say that word enough. Cannot emphasize enough the need for control. You might not be entertained so much because these are not fancy motions that you're used to seeing in movies or demonstrations. However, all of those kinds of motions are useless, and I tend not to do anything useless. That screen jump there you just saw was footage that had to be cut out. There was cutting and thrusting there. As I said, the picture...
That's called a two-man cut. You cut upwards, and in the same motion, cut downward on your opposite side, cutting two people down, essentially, in one cut.
You can see how effortless the motions seem. It's a cut and a thrust.
None of this been sped up, by the way. This is all real time.
Now, of course, you can't practice an entire workout at the pace you see me doing some of these exercises. It would be like going out for a run and spending the whole run sprinting. Not possible. Most of your workout's going to be at a decent pace.
Moderate pace.
Of course, you have to push yourself at times. Just as you would have to in combat. You have to keep these things in mind. Train as realistically as possible for every possible situation that you can think of. It's a lot more to using the sword than just the body. You have to train the mind and the spirit as well. Sounds cliched, but do you really know what the spirit is? Do you really know how to train it? 4-person cuts there. These will kill 4 people placed at each of the cardinal points.
Yeah, I know this because I once cut 4 mats in a single cut. I'm the only person in the world that could do that too. Unfortunately, I didn't get that on video. One single cut, 4 mats placed at each point 180 degrees across from one another. I'm the only person in the world that could at one time do that as well.
Cut, thrust, cut, thrust. See how quick, effortless. You may not be entertained, but in truth, those movements are far more difficult than the acrobatic nonsense that is called swordsmanship by most people these days.
Yeah, the majority of you are used to seeing performative sword work that just looks pretty, but it's utterly useless in a real fight. It doesn't take much skill at all. Mastering cutting technique will take between 3 and 5 million cuts. Really more like 10. That's a lifetime. And it's not just cutting that you do in a sword workout. There's also many ancillary movements, defensive movements, parries, thrusts. It's transitions of varying sorts. It's not just about cutting either.
It's really just dance with a sword in your hand. And not even a sword, really. Flimsy piece of sheet metal oftentimes.
Yeah, a lot of the people you see using a sword, it's extremely light. It in no way reflects what a real sword would feel like.
I'll say again, that weapon I'm using right there, the wood, weighs 2.5 pounds. There is no taper from the guard point to the point of the blade. The balance point is quite high. It has the exact same specifications, weight and balance-wise, as my katana. Something I'm just not going to use in an apartment that has concrete walls and is very small.
Yeah, also it's a bad idea to practice with a real sword. In a real sword workout or any martial arts workout, you need to push yourself to the point where you are failing, to the point where you are making errors. It's the only way you're going to improve, to test your limits, and you do not want to be making errors with real steel.
Notice the circling. Watch the back foot, if you will. I don't drag it along with me. The back foot moves in concert with the front.
Yeah. This is called uniformity of motion.
Everything moves as one. So many swordsmen, when they move forward, backwards into a blow, they're dragging their body behind them. It's being pulled along with the blade. They're actually forgetting parts of themselves and leaving them behind as they advance or retreat.
I don't know what that was.
Just simple wrist exercise there, more fluidity exercises. It's quite a few exercises, quite a number in fact, that you do with the sword that are not used in combat.
Yeah, before I was ill, I practiced 6 days a week. Each workout was an hour and a half. That didn't include warm-up, which would be about half an hour. So you'd have to devote 2 hours or more, 6 days a week. Yeah.
But by themselves, they're designed to condition and strengthen the wrists. Sadly, you don't get to see any of these because I had to cut out my entire warm-up, which is when I do most of them. Circling. See how close the arm stays to the body.
Yeah, you want to keep the arm close to the body. The body is where the power comes from. You don't want to extend your arms too much. Makes them also much more easy to be cut by your enemy.
You don't want to extend the arm overly. You want to extend the body. You want to expand with the body, not with the arm. This allows you to maintain much more control over the blade.
Correct.
Don't forget, all motion, all power is initiated by the body, not the arm.
That's 100% true. More! Oh my. Wow, this is... More! Yes, there's more!
The body is where all the power comes from, to do everything. The arm merely transfers and helps in redirecting that power, which is why you need strong forearms, but the power comes from the body.
Yeah, the forearm is the weakest link. If you're going to be a good swordsman, you have to have strong forearms, for sure.
As does a lot of the control and retransitioning of the blade.
Yeah, none of that sped up. Some of those cuts you saw were upward cuts, from the ground to the heavens cuts.
See? Body.
If you notice, some of these cuts transition directly into thrusts. Looks easy, but it's not.
The arm could not do everything I just did in that set there.
Throughout these motions, there's various defensive motions as well mixed in. If you look well hard enough, you can see them.
The arm is simply one piece of a very large puzzle.
So cut, block, cut.
Too often, too many swordsmen focus upon the arms and the motion of the arms.
Yeah, most Japanese sword techniques use two hands, one against the other, to act as lever, counter lever. The style I practice does not do that. I can use two swords at once.
Really, they shouldn't be focusing on anything. To reach such a point, though, you do have to focus quite a bit. Sword in its practice is a paradoxical one. Never forget that. It's a cut thrust, perfectly executed.
Pulling my socks up because, well, lots of slipping going on.
That's a lesson right there. Keep the hems of your pants high.
That too.
I want to be tripping on them, that's for sure. Now, right here, as you can see, I'm still talking, giving a lesson. Unfortunately, you can't hear it. That'll be remedied in the future. What I'm doing right now is I call body cutting. I completely lock my arm to my side, and I just cut with my body. I don't do anything with my arm.
Yeah, if you're using the sword, you should be able to make it sing or whoosh with just your body. So I lock the arm directly to my hip, torso, and just use the body.
I can tell you, every single one of these cuts has the ability to kill.
Yes. And you might think cutting somebody down with a sharp sword is particularly easy. It ain't if you don't know what you're doing, okay?
They are powerful enough to do so. Practicing such as this merely helps reinforce the root, the foundation of proper sword work, which is that everything flows and comes from the body.
This is another one of those exercises that, if taken out of context without some kind of knowledge, could easily confuse you. Yeah.
As I said, there's many different skills one needs to practice. There's four-person cuts. Only the body is working. The arm's doing nothing.
Yeah, that's a cut that I was able to cut down 4 mats in one cut consistently. Nobody else can do that.
Yet every single one of these blades swings has the power to kill.
Correct. With me. Anyway. That's the, you could call that basically 360-degree cut, yeah.
The whole point here is just to reinforce the root of proper swordsmanship. As I said, you want to practice every skill.
It's enough. There's not much more. Maybe you're bored, maybe not.
This is my first download to this site to educate people on real, practical, non-stylized swordsmanship. Doing right now are warm-up cuts. No, prior to this, I had done a half-hour warm-up. Thrust cut, seamless transition from cutting to thrusting every movement exacting and precise. Perfect control is required. You'll see I'm talking in this video. There's no sound because the capture software I used was total garbage. Many of the other videos that I upload will also have no sound, but in the future they will, as I have gotten new software. And you have me to narrate, so. As you can see, I'm moving in circles. Small, tight circles. That's a two-person cut there. In this video, the temperature in my apartment is about 37 degrees. Two-person cut there.
Now that's Celsius.
Two-person. Sword work is hot work, though, so. Hence the A shirt.
White beater, yeah. Now that's two different cuts. One transition, then flowing into another cut.
Double cuts. Two-person cut. Two-person cut.
Yeah, so either I'm cutting down and then up and then transitioning into an upward position, or cutting up and then down. So, two people.
Four-person cut. Earlier I did a couple other four-person cuts in this. I'm currently the only person in the world who can effectively cut 4 cardinal points with enough effectiveness to cut through 4 mats. No one else in the world can do the 4-person cut but me.
Correct.
Another 4-person cut there. 2-person cut. 2-person. 4-person cut is a complete circular cut that covers the entire 360 degrees. That's a 4-person cut, 4-person cut. Smooth, even fluid motion with the exact same amount of power throughout.
Think about that, folks. There's 8 billion people in this world. I'm the only one that has that level of cutting technique and ability.
Drives through everything in its path. No one else on Earth but me can cut through 4 mats placed at the 4 cardinal points using 1 cut. Double cut there. Notice everything's a circle. Sword, everything is about circles. Double cut. It seems like I'm spinning, but I'm not. They're very quick steps. 4-person cut. Another 4-person cut. 1 movement. Cut seamlessly. Full 360 degrees. The body does everything. Power comes from the body. The arm is doing relatively little. Body moves, sword moves. Body stops, sword stops. The only thing the arm does, cut thrust, cut thrust, cut thrust, cut thrust. Perfect seamless transition and power transfer. Perfect 360 degree cut. Everything with the sword is a circle. Even when it seems like you're moving in a straight line, it should actually be a circle. I can move forward, 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 but every movement will be based upon a circular motion. Notice the quick switch of hands there from Putting the sword from the left hand, right hand to the left hand. No thought involved, just hopped right to it. Say, quick circles, body provides all the power. The weapon I'm using is a 2.5 pound red oak boken. It's so heavy because it's made from core wood. It's very thick. There's absolutely no tapering of the blade. I had it specifically made to have the exact same weight and balance of my actual katana.
Actually, it's much worse balance. Real swords have much better balance than this thing did.
Very few people in the world can use a sword like this one-handed.
That's true.
Two-man cut. Mastering the circle is the key. Everything with the sword is about the circle in regards to the physical application. Before you can master the circle, you must master self. Left foot moves left, right foot moves left. Seamless transfer of power from one motion to another. The next video will be a continuation of this one. I will be narrating on that as well. Please tune in.
Yeah. Obviously, you also have to be in very good shape. Yeah. That goes without saying. Now, this is me about 2 years ago before I got sick. Not looking too bad for an old man. I no longer use a boken, too easy. Real swords also too easy, way easier than a boken. This is what is called a subarito. Subarito is basically a big giant boat oar. It's terrible, terrible balance, like 12, 14 inches above the guard. It weighs more than a real sword. The balance makes it particularly difficult to use. No swordsman on earth can use them one-handed except me. So, another world record there. This is basically Zen in motion. This will be how I start a workout to warm up. Moving very, very slowly. I also have one workout a week where I do nothing but Zen in motion. You just move as slow as you possibly can. Moving quickly is quite easy, but moving as slow as humanly possible taxes your control. It forces you to have more control. It's actually much more difficult than moving with speed, and it forces you to look at every single solitary individual aspect of your motions and your technique and find any weaknesses, any problems, and correct them. Slow is actually more difficult than quick or fast. There's a difference between moving fast and moving slow or quick. Quick and fast, not the same. And this is particularly difficult because this is static Zen, would be the most accurate translation, which is not moving on your heel and putting one foot forward or back. You are standing in place, simply pivoting on both heels. It's much more difficult, actually. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay. At some points, I'm doing non-motion and then not. Regardless, very difficult. And yeah, I'm in my boxers. I usually would practice naked, so this is just be happy I'm not doing that. So So the challenge here is to move as slow as humanly possible while still maintaining perfect control. Think it's easy? It ain't. You can see how big that piece of wood is, by the way. Yeah. It's like a boat oar. And this is not about impressing anyone. This is about control. The point is not to look impressive. It is control, control, control. And you hear the breathing because proper breathing and moving in accordance with your breath is part of that control. Anyhow, thought you'd enjoy a little, glimpse into what real sword work actually looks like. Most of your swordsmen out there, they call themselves such, don't do real sword work. They think they do, but they don't. They learn commercialized crapola. They don't really know what they're doing, and that's unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, just thought you might enjoy that. I know that seemed a little lengthy to some of you. Some of you might have found it very interesting. Some not so much. Some have never seen anything like that. Some think they know what real sword work looks like, but they actually don't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you like what I do, leave a comment in the comments section. Maybe you didn't like what you saw. Maybe it challenges your preconceptions of what you think real sword work is supposed to be. Well, that's part of the problem. Ignorance is bliss. And in this world of everybody being an expert who have seen too many movies, they think they know what they don't know. But anyway, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, drop a super chat, or follow me on Patreon, or join my YouTube channel as a monthly supporting member. Practice the sword's a big part of my life. Helps with physical conditioning and physical and mental discipline. Much of the time it is meditation in motion. And of course, at this point, it requires no thought on my part. Reached a point of Fedoshin. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Good for the algo. On that note, I'm out of here. I am the realist philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care. All right. Anyway. Yeah, I just thought you might find that interesting. Some people probably not so much. Yeah. Matty Ice, S is smooth as F, thank you. Cytoplasma, I only need one finger as well. My trigger finger, well, you don't practice the sword because it's efficacious or practical for combat anymore. Obviously, a gun wins. Mackie G, Wing soon will teach you how to strike here. Yeah, that's garbage. All that Chinese stuff's crap. Give me a break. Oh, sorry. I mean, but yeah. That's all commercialized nonsense. Won't teach you anything, but, enjoy. Cytoplasma. It won't teach you anything practical anyway. They could be used in a real fight. Cytoplasma. When did you make these videos? 96. 2004, maybe. Mackie G, Drill Baby Drill. Johnny Azelis got Kaspar with Star Wars Kid. No, people don't really know how to use a sword. Red Pull Jack, which color lightsaber would you use? Oh, please. Grunt, great footwork. Well, yeah, you gotta know how to move. Red Bull Jack, he's in Pioneer, Excited Plasma, 37C, 98. Yeah. It was a little warm that day. Mackie G, I didn't know about you, thank you. No problem. Red Bull Jack America here. That's 37C. Yeah, 98. Excited Plasma Sticks called. He said he needs to gain some weight. Yeah, CJ548 looks fun. Depends on your idea of fun. Ripple Jack, not going to show the naked training. No, I mean, as you can see, I was in, much better shape even 2 years ago, but nearly dying will do that to you. Decepticon King just got off work. Hells yeah. Glashikova, how do you think China has grown so much over the past decades despite being communist? Because it's not purely communist. They embraced a certain amount of capitalism. It's more like fascism now, where the private industry is run by the individual, but the state has final say and control. So they let the Chinese have a certain amount of autonomy and control over their wealth and private businesses, but ultimately the Communist Party still has the final say. Decepticon King, I do appreciate your stuff, man. Colonel Quail Sticks can be cringe. You're not kidding. You're not wrong. Red Bull Jack, I shared it out halfway, but it's late, so I don't see any of them in chat. Who don't you see in chat? I'm not sure who you're referring to. But yeah, that was 2004, 2005, something like that. My first year in China. Not a great year. Adapting to their environment and the pollution and having to pour all my money into business. I don't think that place had AC. So it was rough. It was rough, man. But things ultimately got better. Thankfully. Oh, man. Long time ago. Yeah, the amount of physical discipline and fitness required, it's really difficult. But ultimately, what I do now is probably more so to a certain extent. I overtrained a bit back then, moved a little too fast to pace. Also, I mastered the sword to a higher degree now, using the Subarito. Decepticon, high gas prices, well, it's $3 a gallon. Now it's $4 here. Red Bull Jack, I want to visit China, but the concept of gutter cooking oil grosses me out. Well, you got to be careful where you eat. Yeah, you got to be careful where you eat, so that's part of it. All right, we've got more. Now we got to move to Jer. Well, let me open up the Jer segment stuff, so give me a sec. Got to open up a few new tabs here. I noticed that the Jer A-logging has slowed down. Not as much of it is happening, which is unfortunate, but I guess it makes sense. It is starting to die down a bit now. But, I mean, his channel is already dead, so doesn't really matter. This guy is toast. He's cooked. Nobody's watching him anymore. Yeah, he's over. He's finished. I'm kind of glad, actually. I'm going to be honest. Hambly is angry today. Oh, that should be good. Yeah, Jeremy's angry. Oh, he thinks. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we're going to get to Jer in a sec. We got any other comments? Let me check here. I don't understand why everybody's blaming the president. Because he got us into a war with Iran that we don't need to be in, just on behalf of the little hat-wearing people. And in addition to that, caused gas prices to skyrocket while at the same time sending the little hat-wearing people billions of dollars and fighting a war on their behalf that we don't need to be involved in because he's a big giant puppet shill. So there's that. We all know it's the oil companies that control. No, the oil, but no, it doesn't work that way, man. That's not how oil prices work. Okay, so no offense to you, my friend. What's your name? Decepticon King 420. That's not how it works. So it's all about supply and demand. The oil companies do not control that. Okay, so if you shut down the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, if you shut down shipping lanes that make the transport of goods and services, more difficult. Those goods and services that rely on that easy shipping route to maintain their lower price will cost more, because then you have to spend more money to get them to their end location. Also, because you are slowing down and creating an essential choke point, essentially, to the goods and services, in this case goods, being delivered, you actually reduce the amount of goods available at any given time. And so the price goes up because there's greater demand, but there's less supply, because you can't get the supply to the people who need it. So you see, the price goes up. It's really that simple. It's not the oil companies. That's like telling the greengrocer, it's like telling the farmer, the price of, lettuce has gone up, but that's the farmer's fault. The farmer controls the price. Yeah, but he can't keep selling it at the same price if the transportation cost goes up, right? Like, I mean, if it costs more to get it to market, right? You're blaming him. But you see, what's going to happen is the end consumer is going to pay more. I mean, maybe he'll charge the same amount. Let's say he needs 50 cents per head of lettuce. And the supermarket maybe pays him 50, but then they're going to increase the price for the consumer, right? Because they buy it for 50, but then they have to transport it to the supermarket, and it costs more overall for them to transport it because gas prices go up. Guess what? They're going to charge more for the lettuce to offset the extra cost in transportation. Oil's the same. Okay? It's actually not the oil company. If more has to be paid to get the oil to market, then guess what? The consumer's going to pay more money. So you have to understand, if you create choke points in the supply chain, so it costs more to get the good to market, the good's going to cost more. So actually, it is Trump's fault. Absolutely. He didn't have to get us into this war. Didn't even go to Congress and say, hey, Congress, can we go to war? Oh, the president can wage war for 30 days or something without a declaration of war. Yeah, but he'd been at it longer than that. No, it is Trump's fault. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Sorry. But it's his fault. There is no shortage of oil. Yeah, but okay, it doesn't work like that, man. Decepticon. Even if you have plenty of oil, you can't get it to where you need it to go. You have to find an alternate route. If you do that, it costs more. So if it costs more to get it to where it's going, guess what? It's going to cost you more once it gets there. Somebody's got to pay. What do you think? They're not going to pay. They can't keep the price the same as it was before the shipping routes were choked off. I don't know why people don't understand this stuff. I'm explaining it to you in a way you can understand. For some reason, people just fight me on what is very simple and easy to understand supply and demand economics. I personally moved BP, British Petroleum maps. Yeah, but they still got to drill for it. They got to drill for it. And they can bring it up. They got to bring it up. And you're forgetting, of course, behind all that, there's inflation. So, CJ548, would how someone could see things do differently? I don't understand. I think Trump is a godsend. I disagree. I think all these people are controlled by the same powers. It doesn't matter if Kamala had gotten into office or Biden or Trump. I mean, on the surface, they might be pushing a different ideological agenda, but they're really all tools. They're all shills. You don't buy the little hat thing? Well, whatever. I don't know what you mean, what you don't buy. Dude, we went to war for them. We went to war for them. That's it. You're not old enough to know that this stuff about Iran supposedly getting a nuke. I've been hearing this for like 40 years, man. It's total bunk. Decepticon just does. Exxon owns Exxon Oil. Shale owns Shell. Okay, it doesn't matter. They still got to pay to get it to their gas stations, yo. If they got to pay a third more to get it there, you're going to end up paying the difference. They can't keep the price the same. And by the way, there's less supply available. So that also drives up the price. The less supply is available or unavailable, there's less supply because you can't get it to where it needs to go. So they can't keep pumping at the same rate because they got to put it somewhere, so it just builds up. Well, where are they going to put it? Storage then becomes an issue. So overall, there's going to be less oil available because they can only store so much. Right? That's oil that prior would have been shipped out immediately to its final destination, but now it builds up, and so they can't keep drilling. Eventually, they have to stop and wait for that supply to ship out in storage containers, in trucks, whatever. So you see, it holds up the amount of oil that can be extracted because of that. Don't you understand? I don't understand why you don't understand. CJ, well, how someone could see things so differently. Well, okay, well, that's because I understand economics. That's because I understand economics and the supply chain and how it works. You don't. No offense, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. CJ, just think of how terrible everything you could imagine would be if Trump never stood up for us. What? Okay, I'm not going to discuss this anymore with you. Yeah, we really can't. Yeah. How many drilling leases has Trump, new leases has he allowed? CJ, we're already on a bad road. What are you talking about? We're on a very bad road already. I don't know what you mean. We could be on a bad road. We are on a bad road, man. Inflation is an all-time high, $38 trillion in debt, $200 trillion in unfunded liabilities. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's quite bad as it is. I'm not going to argue with you. You have an ideological position. I have one that is logical. Of course. If you restrict supply while demand is high, price goes up. It's pretty simple. All right, I'm not going to argue with two people in my chat. Yeah, well, there's another thing. Yeah, that Excited Plasma just pointed out, but I'm not going to mention. By the way, the concurrent viewers are dropping tremendously because I'm arguing with you people. Some of you are ideologically polarized, and you're making emotional arguments. I'm making logical ones, so I'm not going to really address your comments anymore until you stop talking about Trump and Iran because it's pointless. It's just no point. You're also obviously highly emotional, and if I keep arguing with you, you're just going to leave and never watch again because I'll destroy you entirely. I don't want to destroy my fans and kick out the foundations of their ideologically polarized, nonsensical beliefs. All right, let's move on. Sorry. So hello all and welcome. Oh, that's the wrong button too. All right, let's do this again. So hello all and welcome. It is I, the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine and well. I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. What's happening? What's shaking? What's going on? So we got some more Jer here. Jeremy Hamley, a.k.a. the quarter planet ham burglar, cleaner outer of white castles extraordinaire, saying some more dumb stuff and, self-reporting. So let's get to it, shall we? All right. La. So we have the Kino Grove here, one of Jer's clippers. I love these people because, well, they do the job I don't want to do. They watch his horrible live streams, which I don't have the time to do, and they clip out the best parts. So thank you, Kino Grove. Much appreciated. Jer is back to oversharing and mentioning his wife. I thought you're not supposed to talk about his wife. I thought his wife was not a public media figure. I thought she was a very private person, and You're not allowed to talk about her, even though Jared talks about her all the time. So interesting. Sounds like he's still spending money like a drunken sailor. Yeah, I don't get this. Yeah, I don't get that at all. All right, let's see what Jared has to say.
Bass, but I gave up after a few weeks. Well, it's not as fun playing bass by yourself. So, like, I joined a band and then learned bass in the band.
I would guess he sucks. He never had any lessons. He taught himself. And we know that this guy has no self-discipline because, well, just look at him. He's never seen a razor he liked. He's all disheveled. He doesn't get his hair cut. He's overweight. Probably a little smelly because of, how lazy he is. I doubt he showers on a daily basis. Hard to say, but being on your feet for even 10 minutes when you're 450 pounds, kind of rough on the body and the knees. So, yeah, this guy, not much discipline, not much self-discipline. I doubt he's very good at playing the bass or anything else. Some more sniffing. That's Adderall nose,
That was like a lot of...
If you wonder what Adderall nose is, Adderall is an ADHD drug. It's essentially synthetic creatine. That creatine word's a stand-in for another word, another substance that you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But anyway, people will crush it up and sniff it. Yeah.
That was how I ended up playing bass. I was like 16. I never played any instrument before. But I was like, let's start a band. And then like somebody played guitar and my friend was a drummer. So then I was like, well, okay, I'll just learn bass.
In the bass, like the lazy man's guitar, it's got like 4 strings instead of 6. Yeah. Yeah, sniff some more, buddy. It's a dead giveaway, pal. Dead air.
I just got a new bass too. Really, really like it.
He bought a new bass. Yeah. Probably a very expensive bass. JR, aren't you going broke, man? Aren't you making like only $3-4 grand a month on YouTube? What are you doing buying anything except food? Well, that cost him a fortune too. Look at the size of him.
And then I just paid to have my old bass restored.
Oh, he had his old bass restored. That could cost even more. Great idea there, buddy. Maybe if you took care of your instruments, you wouldn't need to get them restored. But anyway,
I still have the bass my girlfriend bought me. My girlfriend bought me a bass, my very first bass, because I didn't have any money.
Yeah, just like now.
And
buying everything on credit.
I ended up marrying her.
Yeah. Worst idea of her life. Worst decision she ever made. Good Lord. She could have done a lot better than you, pal. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know her personally, so maybe she couldn't.
I had no money and no credit, and she took me to a place called Mars Music.
Wow, how embarrassing. Your girlfriend had more money, more credit than you did. Oh, boy, what did she see in you, pal?
Which I don't think they're around anymore. And she opened up a Mars Music credit card for me so I could get a bass and a cabinet. My first cabinet was 2 12s. It was a crate cabinet. It was fucking huge. It was so stupid. When we would play basement shows and stuff like that, oh my God.
Basement shows? That was a basement show. Who's hiring you, by the way? Somebody's having a party in their basement, a teenager, and they're hiring you? Must not have paid money. Yeah, sniff some more, buddy.
I had to lug that thing down into so many basements when I was in high school, and it was just like so stupid. I should have just got something like 2 10s, but it was a double stack 2 12s.
I love that this guy's trying to talk like he's some kind of music insider, like he's a professional or at least a high level amateur. Meanwhile, we know that's not true.
Plus the head, and it like weighed, a metric ton.
Yeah, like you. Of course, this was before he was a big, giant blob, so, yeah. Yeah. This guy's spending a lot of money still. Of course, he can't help himself. Yeah, I don't think it matters how much you sell, JR. You're going to be broke regardless. You can sell all your stuff. You're just going to turn around and spend the money as quick as you get it. Emily is angry today. Really? He seems like he's angry all the time to me. To be totally completely honest. Listener discretion advised. Second 911 from the... Okay, let's hear what he has to say. Turn up the sound.
He was not a good boy. He was a thug.
He's talking about Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. The court has seen a slight uptick in his numbers. The only reason for that is because he's been covering the Carmelo Anthony case obsessively, and that got him some decent views. Even I was tempted to almost watch him, but I didn't because I can't stand him, and he's so boring. But I was thinking about it. So, yeah, then they've gone right back down to garbage. I think he probably also purchased, in my opinion, allegedly, speculatively, some more views. So there's that.
He was there, in my opinion, to create a situation where he could stab somebody. He could take their life. That's my opinion.
That's my opinion, too. I think Carmelo Anthony went there with the intention of unaliving someone. I think that was his main goal. Why else have a knife on you? Why else reach into your bag? Why else provoke a situation where you, in your idiotic, low IQ understanding of the law, very low IQ understanding of the law, think that you can off somebody and then claim self-defense? Well, he touched me! Because, if somebody touches you, you can alive them. It's totally, completely legal. No, it's not. You dummy.
I can't prove that. I can't know what was in his mind at the time, but...
Not much except for anger and hatred toward Whitey, in my opinion.
Why do I oppose releasing the body cam? I mean, we don't need to see it.
Why would he oppose that? I'd like to see that. But I would have liked to have seen the trial as well. But, that idiot judge decided to not allow cameras in the courtroom, of course.
It's not germane to the case. It's not germane to what.
Really? I would think it might tell us something about his state of mind. How he's acting directly after unaliving the white kid. I would think that would be kind of important. Wouldn't you think, Raccoon Eyes? No, he don't think so.
Whether or not the crime happened, I don't need to see a young boy dying on camera to know he's dead.
Well, the body cam, would it show that? I mean, I guess maybe the police would be, administering some kind of first aid. But yeah, that would make it more real, right? I guess the jury saw it, but why can't we see it? But then again, why couldn't we see the trial? Instead, it had to be filtered through the mainstream media, who lied, dissembled, obfuscated, lies of omission, leaving out stuff.
I don't see any value in that.
That's because you're dumb, in my opinion. You're not too bright, man. You're not too bright if you think there's no value in seeing the body cam. What are you talking about? This is why this guy talks about his personal life so much, because he has nothing of substance or creativity or any good takes. So, yeah, it's a horrible take, man. Horrible.
Except for, like, weirdos who,
If I want to see the body cam footage, I'm a weirdo? Really? Okay, buddy.
Want to...
This from a guy who, swings. Allegedly, in my opinion, speculatively, I'm still allowed to have an opinion, right, YouTube? And has bulls and everything. Sky bulls, Wisconsin bulls, banging his wife. Allegedly, in my opinion. And you're calling us weird for wanting to see body cam footage? Okay, buddy.
I don't know, jerk off to it or something? I don't...
What's he doing? Is he tweeting? Is he texting? He's sending messages on his phone while he's doing a live stream? Yeah.
No. I'm not saying, look, if they release it, they release it. I'm just not going to show it.
I think I see why he wears the hat. The light's coming from above, and so the shadows partially cover his eyes. So the raccoon circles there under them are a little less obvious, but not by much. Yeah, sniff some more, buddy. He's got Addy nose. I call it ADDY. Addy nose. He's got it. While he's chewing what is probably nicotine gum. Like me.
It's not your family? Well, I'm...
Of course, I have brain damage, so I have a legitimate reason for using even a mild stimulant. Him, Addy, and nicotine? Whoa, buddy! And meanwhile, he's this low-key and low energy. Wow. All them stimulants, and he still can't look like he's halfway interested in what he's doing.
I mean...
So low energy. How do you take all them stimulants and still be low energy like this? Well, I guess it's the booze. I guess he takes the Addies and the nicotine to offset the effects of the booze because that's a depressant.
Dude, his family saw it in court, homie. You not listen?
Well, why can't we see it? Because you got a lot of public opinion going around and a lot of people getting violent and doing really bad stuff, a certain ethnic group, not white people, because they didn't see the whole entire truth, and they got a lot of lies and misinformation from the mainstream media, a lot of facts left out to gin up a lot of anger and hate and resentment from the black segment of the population toward the white segment of the population. So you've got a lot more violence, you got a lot more animus, you've got a lot more acting out of that minority side toward the white majority side because those kind of facts have not been released to the general public. Again, I think it was a bad idea that the case was not allowed to be filmed. It was not allowed to be shown, that there weren't cameras in the courtroom. I think that was a big mistake.
Family saw it in court.
I think if black people had seen all the evidence, if they had seen the testimony of the witnesses and the video and the police body cam footage and heard from all the witnesses, I think there would be a lot less anger and acting out of a certain group of minority people, black people, than there are now. So that's one good reason why it should be released. Jer. You don't see that, though. Of course not.
They don't need it on the internet for people to be fucking sending them.
Why not? I want to see everything. I want to see the whole trial. Oh, but we can't. There were no cameras. We just have transcripts. Yeah. How many black people out there reading the entire trial transcript? Not too many. How many are going through all the evidence? Not too many. They already have an idea in their mind. They have confirmation bias. And, they just hear what they want to hear. They watch the news sources that they know are going to tell them exactly what they want to see, want to hear. And the mainstream media lies and omits a lot. So, yeah.
That it's just not. It's not, people want to use it to humiliate him,
I don't understand how anybody watches this guy. His takes are so bad.
To terrorize the parents. Like, fuck off. That doesn't need to be out there.
What?
Somebody wants to send a...
Who's going to terrorize Carmelo Anthony's parents? I mean, they're already probably terrorizing and sending threats and, harassing, being inappropriate towards Austin Metcalf's parents. That's for sure. Maybe that would happen less if the body cam had been released and, the trial had been filmed, because then people would see the truth and see what piece of, what, that Mr. Carmelo was.
FOIA, it's probably going to get out there.
Oh, but that's a bad thing. Yeah, because truth, bad.
I'm not saying it should be illegal. I'm just saying I won't disseminate it.
Yeah, of course not. You're milquetoast. You're afraid of angering the powers that be, right? You gotta sit on that fence, buddy. Yeah. There's more. This guy. Let's see here. F11 it, baby. I can't even see the F11. Where's the F11? Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we have Kiwi Farms and our favorite researcher, Jer A. Logger, and lore master of the Quarter Range content, Return of the Mac and Cheese. Love you, Mac and Cheese. Hey, Jeremy, why are you still up in your MTG Headquarters Gmail account? You haven't posted to that channel in over a month. It's very interesting. So people have gotten glimpses of his search history, and he's still using his MTG Gmail account? Why? You haven't posted to that channel in over a month, but you still keep up with the emails. That's weird. Well, I guess it's not weird if he's flagging channels using that email. Then it's not weird at all. What a coincidence. That was the same channel you were using as a sock puppet to report other people's channels on YouTube. Has it blown over yet? Is he still flagging people? I bet he is. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, he's logged into the account right now. How bizarre. How does this guy? Wow. If I had to guess, this guy, the Return of the Mac and Cheese, maybe he's retired? Maybe he's a retired guy or something? I don't know. I don't have the time to do stuff like this. I don't know where this guy finds the time. Confirmed. He got a Discover card. The make payment link is showing up in his history. Why is Jeremy at the lowest point of his channel, where he's essentially losing money because he's only making about 3 to 5K a month? I don't even think that. And that doesn't take into account all the ads he's buying to promote his videos as advertisements or whatever bots he may speculatively, allegedly be buying. So, you know, you can take Lord knows how many thousands away from that 3 to 5,000, plus his, you know, $10,000 a month mortgage and whatever other bills and debts he has. Why is he getting a new credit cards? Why? He wants to go into more debt? I guess when you have no money, you need to get new credit cards. The make payment link is showing up in his history. I still don't get this. Jared, I make it a point not to use my search bar while I'm streaming and doing screen capture because I don't want people to know my business. Why are you using your search history while you're streaming? Don't you? And by the way, don't you know how to like erase your cache, to wipe your cache, so that when you do stream, if you use the search bar, nothing shows up? Or just your most visited links, but generically, not these kind of specifics. You don't want people knowing your business, right? Well, apparently he does. Remember, he overshares. Wow. Wow. Here, just because he's, you know, lazy. But, yeah, wow. I think that's probably the worst thing he could be doing is getting more credit cards and increasing the amount of debt that he has. Did this guy Quarter has been poaching Carmelo news from Ad Oranges to his profile name just to felt chair? Oh, man. Okay. Quartering took one look at this and needed a Zin. Oh, my God. He chews nicotine gum. And so you might be wondering, why would Jeremy use a Zin if he's already chewing nicotine gum? I'll tell you why. Nicotine gum has a maximum of 4 milligrams of nicotine per piece. Zin has like 6 milligrams of nicotine per Zin. So it's got more nicotine. That's why. So this dude, not only do we have all of the over-the-counter prescriptions that he takes, but he's also doing nicotine. He's also doing booze and the Xannies and has Addy nose. Oh, man. Dude, you're not going to live a very long time. I might outlive you. As bad as my health is, I still might outlive you, pal. Look at this. Zins. Those are very popular right now, aren't they? Are they expensive? I don't know. I guess a Zin, it's a slower, more gradual release of the nicotine than gum, which if you chew it too much, you can release the nicotine very quickly, which is bad. Jer accidentally opens his Facebook account on stream. Why? Oh, it's an accident. But how do you accidentally open it? Oh, okay, he's got a... All right, it's up there at the top. Wow, dude, that's stupid, man. I don't understand. How am I better at using my computer than this guy? He's way younger than me. How does he not know how to use computers better than me? I don't get this. How are you accidentally opening web pages, man? I don't do that. I mean, how inept are you? He accidentally opens his Facebook. You can see all the most recent messages are Facebook Marketplace messages about our C cars. Yeah, the dude he's selling everything. At the same time, he's opening up new credit cards so that he can, you know, have more debt, because that's a really great idea. It's really awesome for your credit there, Jer. At the same time, he's selling all his crap because he's broke. Brilliant. Incur more debt while you're in the red. Brilliant. He's been selling, confirming this is actually happening. It's happening. By the way, Gooner alert. I went to the Krista Grant account he follows. It's just some Facebook thought who posts her fat tees all day. Okay, so he does like the big boobies. All right. Even if it is just a chunky broad. Quartering fan outing himself as a PD file. Okay, Quartering's Twitter replies, then gets dogged out by another Quartering fan. Wonder what this Caleb guy thinks about Jeremy's Ren Fair stream. He probably liked it. I'm not going to get into these messages, by the way. I don't need to see all that. Finally, we're going to take a look at the germinal decline. So it's been a while. So this website, the Germinal Decline, and I don't know if the person who set this up had to pay or if this is free, but whatever, this person's brilliant. You're wonderful. If I could afford to, I would buy you a coffee. I would click on that link and I would make a donation, but I'm broke, so I can't do that. So the Germinal Decline is a website devoted specifically to tracking the Quartering's real views. You might ask, well, couldn't you just use Social Blade? I could, but the Social Blade just gives total views, including shorts, while this gives you real long-form views, and he's not able to inflate his numbers with his garbage shorts, which was just stolen content. All right, so month to date in June. So far, he's got 4.7 million views this month, so he's up. So the Quartering is way up this month as compared to last month. However, he's way down, actually. He's dropped back down this week, big time, because the Carmelo Anthony trial is over, and he got a big bump from that. So that's the only reason you saw that bump. In addition, I believe that a lot of those videos were propped up by bots, in my opinion, speculatively. I'm still allowed to have an opinion, right, YouTube? Well, for now, maybe. We'll see. So probably a lot of bots, in my opinion. And of course, when he buys an advertisement to promote an entire video as an advert, that counts as a view. So he's literally paying YouTube to force people to watch his videos. So that's why you see this big bump. Also, that's very stupid because the dude is broke and he's getting new credit cards willy-nilly and he's selling all his crap and he's probably in the process of selling his mansion on his Shrek swamp. And so this guy, at the same time he's in the red, is spending Lord knows how much of his savings to prop up his channel's views. Why? Don't know. Ego, maybe? Thumb his nose at us all and say, see, my views are going up. You were all wrong. All right, so 4.7 total million views, and the month isn't over. Average views, 68K. Estimated ad revenue between 3,900 and 5,900. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Because you have to factor in the possibility of bots and adverts. And we know he's still buying ads. We know he's still paying for advertisements overseas, promoting his videos as adverts. So he's done 62 long-form videos this month. Wow! So he's increased output. Like rate, 9.7. I mean, that's not bad, actually. Around a 10% like rate. 79K comments. 18.5 minute average video length. Okay, so he's increased the length. So he's going to get more watch hours out of that, more ad rev. I think it's just the Carmelo Anthony stuff, and he's probably still botting, in my opinion, and buying advertisements. Okay, so let's, is there a deeper dive analysis? Okay, let's take a look. All right, this is a graph. All right, year to date. So June 2025, he was getting 9.9 million views. July 2025, 10.6. But a year before, it was 17.6 and 16.5. So he's really seen a huge decline from 2024 to 2025. Now, this is even bigger. August, 8.8 is compared to 21 million in 2024, the same time. Now here, wow, wait, that don't make sense. There was a huge jump from August 2025 to September 2025, from 8.8 to 15. Okay, so he must have went on a massive botting and advert campaign. Yeah. And then it dropped the next month. I guess he ran out of money to 10.3 in October 25, 8.6 November last year, 6.8 December. So even before the controversy, he was dropping huge. I guess he stopped spending all that money. He ran out of cash, maybe. Then jumped back up to 10 million 2026, January, then 9.2, and 7.3, 5.6, 2.9 last month. Wow. These numbers are horrible. Now, his estimated YouTube ad revenue over the past 13 months, 95K to 142K. Yikes. for a guy that's got like a 20 to 30K nut every single month, that don't cover it. That don't cover it by half. Maybe half. Where's the other half coming from? It might have been coming from the Rumble deal, but that's gone now. Yet this guy's still spending money on friggin' new bases and fixing up old bases. Wow. What a dimwit. Oh, so wow, here we can see his ad revenue. This month, the most he made was 5.K, and I think it's more like 3 or 4. So he's doing terrible. He's doing really bad. This is not good. Now, this Germinal Decline used to have his other channels as well that you could look at, but I guess he cut that out because nobody was looking. And I guess this costs money, this website, so I had to cut some features, unfortunately. But he still has the, daily random excuse for why his channel's dying. His channel is dying because he's fat! I love it. Oh boy, the last one. It's totally random. No excuse. This channel is dying because he's cryptozoological, buddy. Where are these coming from? Does anybody know how this works? Is this being generated by AI? These random excuses for why his channel is dying, or does this person that created this literally type in these excuses and they just get randomly generated? I don't know. Channel's dying because he has panic diarrhea. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of dunking on this guy. So, I think that next month, he's probably going to be back down around this 2.9 million, maybe lower. No more Carmelo Anthony to grift off of. By the way, Jared was very upset that Carmelo got 35 years. He thought that Carmelo would get a slap on the wrist. By the way, in my opinion, I think Carmelo did get a slap on the wrist. 35 years is a joke for what is obviously and was proven to be premeditated unaliving. He should have gotten life, and it's not actually 35. He'll be eligible for parole after 17 and a half years. Although I don't necessarily know that he'll get that because that Carmelo Anthony kid, he didn't seem very emotionally stable to me. He didn't seem to have much in the way of self-control. You stab somebody in the chest because they, touched you with a finger or two. Yeah, that screams no self-control to me. So I don't think he's going to have much good behavior in prison, but maybe he will. I hope he doesn't. I want him to spend the entire 35 years in there. But he is black, so, parole board will probably take pity on him and, let him out after 17 years. So, in my opinion, that's a slap on the wrist. But anyway, that's what's happening with the quartering. I don't think he's doing very well. I just released a video talking about how the dude is admittedly selling all his stuff because he feels like he says he's enlightened now, like he found Buddha or something. And material possessions aren't important to him anymore. And so he's selling all this stuff because he, found enlightenment, Buddha, whatever. Don't believe any of it, by the way. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section. Is Jer's channel recovering? Is it finally blowing over like he said it would? I mean, hey, his views went up from 2.9 to 4.7, right? Even though most of that is Carmelo Anthony and buying adverts and, in my opinion, botting. But hey, I could be wrong. So let me know what you think. Is he going to come back from this? Is he going to be bigger than ever? No. He's selling the swamp mansion and getting a 1-bedroom apartment, 2 at most, for him and all his dogs, and has to sell all his crap because he's downsizing. Either that or get himself a really big storage unit. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of any future content that I create. Also, leave a comment. Here it's good for the algo. If you'd like to support my continued content creation, leave me a super chat, guys. I would really, really appreciate it. Any amount would be appreciated. You can also follow my Patreon and support me there. Or you can sign up for my YouTube as a supporting member on a monthly basis by hitting the join button below the video you see. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those links in the description. And on that note, I'm out of here, baby. I am the realist philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care. Yeah, don't blame me, because there's not much to report on Jer. There just wasn't much to find. Not much to clip. And honestly, didn't have enough time. I needed the entire weekend for rest. I was very tired. So I didn't have any real free time to, I didn't have the energy. I needed the rest. So I didn't have a lot of time to search for, research, content fodder. But I will for the next show. So my apologies on that. All right, we'll get to your comments. I hope that people stop talking about oil and Trump. By the way, I used to be a big fan of Trump. I'm just not anymore. CJ, who cares about gas? This is securing humanity as we know it. Dude, Iran ain't got a nuke. They're not going to have a nuke. And by the way, if they had a nuke, who cares? Nobody hates us more than North Korea, and they ain't nuked us yet. Okay? And they got plenty of nukes. The only reason there would be any threat or that we have to worry about Iran is because we keep bombing and attacking the Middle East for the most part. That's not to say they don't ideologically despise us, but because of their religion. But, dude, I mean, really, they don't have a nuke, okay? And I've been hearing this for 40 years. Okay, they're still arguing about that. Oh no. Cytoplasma. Addy is already taken. It's a term for email address. Email address is well, my email address is in the literal description of every video I post. And I invite anybody to email me if they want. I won't necessarily reply. It depends on the person and the message, but I get the emails. Sticks will serve more time than Anthony. You think? Excited plasma? I don't think so. No, Sticks X and Hammer isn't going to serve that much time in jail. So, the Louisiana courts want him for his probation. And so, he would have to serve out the remainder of that probation in jail. So, it's like 6 months. They might add on more time because of him not showing up for the warrant. That would be a separate case, though, I think. Maybe there'd be automatic time, added on. I'm not sure. But at least 6 months. And then, of course, there's the charges in Vermont that haven't even been adjudicated. With the gun charges and such. So I really don't know what's going to happen with Sticks. I mean, I know what's going to happen. He'll eventually go to jail. He can't hide out in New York City forever. The only question is when it happens. As for the arrest, I don't know that. Could be years, could be tomorrow. Who knows? What's going to happen after jail? I have some idea. I think Sticks going to prison isn't going to help that much. Might clean him up, clean him out, get him detoxed, but I think he'll go right back to the booze and the pot and whatever else he's taken the moment he gets out. That's what I think. CJ says it's a culture war. I mean, if you're talking about other countries, yeah. Talking about here in America, the culture war is just, distraction to divide us and stop us from looking at who's the actual enemy. But regardless, by the way, after this show, I'm going to immediately post. I'm going to make up a new thumbnail and immediately post the next show for Wednesday. I didn't schedule this one, and so we didn't get very many viewers. That's my fault. I didn't schedule it at all, so I apologize, because the chat is more lively and fun when we get more viewers. Cytoplasma. I bet a year for Sticks. 6 months. He'll have to serve out his probation. They might tack on charges. They probably will for him not appearing in court, for fleeing. So I don't know what that'll be. If it's not automatic, then they'll have to try him for that, convict him for that. He'll probably take a plea deal. That'll probably be another 6 months to a year, and then he'll go back to Vermont to face the music there. He'll also have to face charges there, not just for the gun, but for non-appearance. And so it could be years. It could actually be years that he ends up serving, not just one. Kalashnikova says, I'm not sure Sticks would survive prison. Yeah, maybe he's tougher than you think. I don't know. I mean, it depends on if it's jail or prison, right? So if he serves out the remainder of his probation, he won't go to prison. It'll be in jail, and that's much worse. Because if it was prison, he would go to the type of prison facility based on the charges. And these are relatively low level. So if he actually went to prison, it would be like a minimum security, like a country club type deal, computer access and libraries and tennis courts, maybe even minimum security. And if that's the case, it wouldn't be that bad, right? That's where your white-collar criminals go, you know, your Ghislaine Maxwell's and all. But if he gets put in jail, which he will because it's under a year and it's a probation violation and he's serving out the term of the probation, jail is worse. It's really bad. That's like your holding cell where you hold people before they get sentenced to prison. And it's really terrible. It's overcrowded. The conditions are poor. You got like 8-10 dudes to a cell sleeping on the floor like he is now. So, you know, in that sense, he's used to that. But it's much worse. It's much worse. Excited Plasma. Louisiana, love him long time. Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I don't know if he'd survive or not. It would be rough on him. I know that. He might have to go into like protective custody or something. I mean, what is he, 120 pounds? Maybe. I mean, as emaciated as he is. You saw his string bean arms, right? When he was wearing that short sleeve shirt. Because for some reason the room he's in has no AC. Is it possible that the house he's in doesn't have central air? I mean, do these old brownstones not have central AC? I mean, he said he doesn't have AC, but I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe just certain rooms have window ACs. I don't know. But that's pretty archaic, man. I thought that the Potatoes' parents had money. How could that place not have an air conditioner? It's just got to be the room he's in. I think other rooms in there must have ACs. Kalashnikova, he's so skinny, he'd probably be beat up from some of the bigger guys. Yeah, he'd get bullied, he'd get beat up, he'd get passed around. You know, he'd be somebody's arm candy. He'd be somebody's girlfriend, okay? Yeah, he wouldn't do too well. I would agree with that. Would he survive? That's up in the air. Yeah, he is pretty fragile. I mean, look at Styx is very fragile, okay? Everything he does, everything he says about not caring what people say, what people think, is a total, complete dodge. It's BS. He hasn't posted on YouTube in 9 days because he's getting tired of people dunking on him and making fun of his stupid takes. If he was more resilient and had a thicker skin, he wouldn't give a crap. But apparently he gives a real crap. He cares a lot. That's how he's very fragile. So somebody that fragile goes to prison, yeah, he's not going to do well. And he may not survive, you're right. But if he does survive, maybe he'll come out a better man. Who knows? Maybe he'll get clean. Maybe he'll go through detox. Well, he'll definitely go through detox. He ain't got enough money to, buy prison liquor made in somebody's toilet in their cell. That's going to be expensive. I don't think he has enough. I don't think he has enough cash either to buy off, the prison bulls via credit to their commissary. So yeah, he's going to be somebody's girlfriend for sure. I think it's 50-50 if he survives, and I think it's less than 50-50 that he comes out a better man. But we'll see. You never know. You never knows. I would have loved to make more Styx content, but he's not producing any content right now. Oh well. I'll have to wait for him to accumulate enough stupid tweets for me to do another Styx Twitter Files. Maybe Monday. of next week because he's not tweeting that much anymore either. But anyway, guys, it's been 3 hours now. I've covered enough. I'm going to head out. Got some stuff to do. Got to take a massive whiz here. So I am going to bid you adieu. I'll be back Wednesday, same time. Let me get working on that thumbnail so I can actually schedule and promote the next stream so we get a decent amount of people attending. And usually Wednesday is my biggest stream anyway, so should be pretty good. So I hope to see you there. And I also need to start researching the next one to get better content for it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my, 20-plus-year-old sword videos and all the other stuff. And I love you guys. You know that. Anyway, I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.